We are back. Welcome to the Culture Crusade. How is everyone?
Good. I didn't hear the.
You didn't hear the pshoo?
No,
oh, I might have.
I missed the
You are a bit stuttery today on your end. I don't know if it's my Australian internet or it's on your end. I can never tell these things.
It's those terrorists on the Australian internet.
But we unfortunately missed last week because I was sick, and but now I'm back, and we got a whole heap of fun things to talk about.
Now we can talk Minecraft.
We are going to be Minecraft. Holy crap! But let's get some people that come. Wait for some more people to come on in before we dive into that subject, because there is a lot to discuss about Minecraft. Oh my gosh! So
550 million.
Now. A lot, dude. Oh my! Like it is making bank.
I think it's gonna break $1 billion, isn't it?
Yep.
It seems like.
I said that as soon as I was walked out of the theater. I'm like, that's making $1 billion.
It was pretty obvious. I mean, Minecraft is a long legacy. Generations of people love that game.
You know,
well, really, it's only one generation. It's everyone. My oldest son and younger, because he started playing it when he was like 9 or something. And then, like, everyone younger than him has played it in the house, and they know all the memes. They know all the Ender this and Ender that, whatever. It's like, yeah,
the Enderman. Here, Brian.
Have you guys seen that? This is a very recent internet trend. I should probably present my screen because you can't really see it yet. That would make sense.
Chicken jockey. Sorry.
Have you guys seen this? It's only recent, but I think it's pretty damn funny. So you can transfer your Twitter, like not just your profile, but it's all like your interactions and stuff, and an AI assesses it all and makes a play card.
No way.
Yeah.
I saw you post that. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, and so a number of people have been doing it, and it's kind of funny to see what the AI just kind of, I guess.
Grok do it? Is it Grok?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's doing it, but it summarizes a decent amount, and and I'm actually kind of surprised at some of the more nuanced way that it's kind of understood some things here, because it's latched on. So yeah, of course I talk about AI a lot, but it's also
gaslighting is pretty good.
I know. That's one thing. That's one of the things that really impressed. Like, hang on, how did it pick up that the gaslighting thing? Because one of the things that's been going on, like with AI, right, is that. Look, AI is great, okay? It can make great stuff. I'm not saying there isn't slop, but I've been saying, look, if you're going to try and call something that looks objectively brilliant, abject crap, you're just showing that you're blind and you're full of it. And that's something that I've been saying, as quite consistently. And that is a legitimate thing people try and gaslight about AI art. And I've been calling it, and it picked up on that. It's like I have a resistance to gaslight. I was like, all right, then, that's kind of funny. I'm ultra rare. I find I don't. It's like that's interesting. Okay.
Maybe he's shiny or something. You should give him like a holographic look.
Yeah, or where's the gold border or something like that? I was like, there we go. All right, I found it a bit funny. Then look, it even takes a dig at you here and there, because the AI, my attack is like, with a smug grin, Shad critiques traditional artists like they're in the Stone Age while he flaunts his AI-enhanced masterpieces. Too bad he thinks his hot takes are more original than they really are. It's like
like Encyclopedia Dramatica or something like that.
I think that's actually brilliant.
Comedian roasting you a little bit.
I know. Or it has been really harsh on some people. If you go to my Twitter post, right, some people have shared their own.
Okay, who does it? Where can you get this done? Somebody.
The website is embedded in the image, so it's like tpotmon.com.
Tpotmon.
Are you going to do it, Mike? I'll share it live on the stream. Let's see what Mike gets. It could roast you, dude. It can be merciless.
Fine. All right, let's see. You want me to do it live?
Yeah, you share your screen and we'll bring it up. All you have to do, and it's really easy. All you do is share your Twitter.
Easy enough. At Mike S. Miller Art.
Before presenting screen, remove other media. So hang on. Usually it just does it automatically, but I gotta remove mine.
Oh yeah, StreamYard sucks now.
Yeah.
It's so janky now. Generate my card. Oh wait.
All right, let's see what Mike gets. I'm gonna full screen. And so it's then analyzing it, determining card type, calculating. Here we are. Look at this. You got a rare, dude. Nice.
I'm rare.
All right, do you want to read out what some of the other?
Mike S. Miller, drawing into the future at Mike S. Miller Art. Ability, artistic visionary.
Visionary, dude. This is very complimentary so far.
Transforms concepts into compelling visuals, attracting attention and sparking conversations in the art community. Attack, dramatic whine. Can't you just call it a troll? When Mike can't handle the criticism, he just has to shout out his latest artistic grievances. Spoiler, nobody cares, but hey, at least he gets likes. Weakness, a 20+ cringe. Resistance, -15 gaslighting.
This is cringe.
Very nice, very nice. That's great. And rare.
Oh, you also got
a
resistance
rare.
to gaslighting. Is gaslighting just like the resistance everyone has?
No, a lot of people get other different things, but I guess
Yeah, do yours, Dev. Let's see what you get.
Will he dare? It can be harsh, man. It's up to you.
And there we go.
Oh, Litdev is
I didn't
already
appreciate that at all.
It's literary defender. Stands strong for free speech and critiques cultural trends with biting insight, often sparking discourse and engaging followers in literary community. I get the wine cellar. All right, way better than the roast. Unleashes the pent-up frustration of being a self-proclaimed defender of free speech, drowning everyone in a torrent of complaints about modern media and culture. Watch out for the cringe. Weakness is thirst.
What have you? Hang on. What have you been liking on Twitter?
I have no idea. It's usually just like comic book stuff. I don't know where the thirst came from. But resistance is -40 to gaslight.
Wow, that's an impressive resistance on that one.
It's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I'm not sure exactly how the game would play out with these cards, though.
Wouldn't it be great if there is actually a game that they've built into this? Because like there's an attack power next to did we all get roast attack?
I don't know.
I got drama
attack.
I got roast.
Because like I have a weakness against drama, and it's a point based. I think this might actually be a playable game. If it is, that's genius. Like I reckon people would actually start playing this.
That'd be funny.
That would be funny, dude. Oh man, so
wine cellar.
I wonder how that'll go. We'll see. But anyway,
Legally Saint says no, it isn't. But someone could come up with a game.
Yeah, you could. I mean, there's points and everything there.
Yeah.
And because like I'd like to know the categories because I've seen roast, drama, gaslight, thirst. There was another one that I can't remember, but there's like just all these like attack, defense, weakness kind of things here and there. Anyway, it's pretty funny. But let's dive into the main topic.
You know what probably was? I do like some of those tweets where it's like these artists making like these women that are going against the grain. Like, there's this is an ugly woman, but they kind of change it to a pretty version of the ugly main character or whatever. So I do like those.
Yeah, like when people point out like how video games with attractive women are actually like just destroying video games with ugly women. And there is a topic on that we might touch on briefly because there's a new game coming out that people have been talking about. Have you seen this? Marathon, the game is. Have you guys?
I don't think I've seen this one yet. Wait a minute. So it's the top one because the bottom one is like this.
Yes.
Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, the Marvel Rivals compared to this new game called Marathon, and oh wow.
Do I have to start doing redesign videos again?
You might. Wow, these characters look hideous.
They're like kind of the man versions of like, okay, you get these women on the bottom, and then the men are on top.
Like now, interestingly, I have heard people criticize the design of Emma Frost. This is Emma Frost in Marvel Rivals, and not that she's wearing sexy outfits, but that her face looks a bit mannish. And look, I think I kind of her face isn't the most flattering kind of
like David Bowie. She's kind of like David Bowie.
Yeah. Like I might have to agree with some of the face criticisms of Emma Frost, because Emma Frost in the comics, she's supposed to be just a friggin' knockout, like super hot.
She used to be.
Yeah, well, Marvel now they've tried to make everything ugly. But so this is what Grum says on this video game here. It's like people don't like the look of Marathon art style because it reminds them of postmodern art slop. Now add that to intentionally androgynous character designs and people's alarm bells go off. Yes, like if I see, and it is intentional, like you can't, with how easy it is to make a sexy woman in video games, and you have all these examples, right? And you see this character design of a woman that looks completely androgynous, and you're like, that's absolutely intentional at this point in game development. And that is a friggin' alarm bell. It's like, because they've done it on purpose. Why did they do it on purpose then? Do they have Sweet Baby Ink whispering in their ears? It says, postmodern art was founded by DEI grants and pattern recognition of players kick in whenever they see unclear genders. People are just sick of it, and you can't blame them for reacting the way they are. Because I don't know anything about Marathon. I don't know if it is DEI, if it has Sweet Baby Ink. But I said this ages ago. It's like, you don't even need to know if Sweet Baby Ink is involved in anything to see modern, just to see if it's got ugly women or not. And that's the alarm bell right there. And this is kind of what's happening. And so I don't know if it will be a good game or not. We will see. But people already are looking at it thinking like,
I kind of feel like a game that already has a chip on its shoulder.
Yeah, it's not a good start, isn't it? It's like, I'm just looking at some of these replies, and there's speculation as to who's involved in it and whatnot. And there's been a number of posts I've seen about Marathon about just the character design side of things. And Marvel Rivals, I think the main success of Marvel Rivals is just the character designs. Most of them look freaking awesome. People love playing characters that look awesome. It's not a hard kind of thing. And then if you get even moderately acceptable gameplay, you got a winning formula and a successful game. It can start as basic as that.
Did Grums get kicked off of YouTube?
I don't know. Has he?
I don't see him on there.
Huh. Actually, I haven't heard anything about that crossing my timeline. I know that we did a whole stream of people like really trying to take him down, and so we have a deep dive on the whole Grum stuff.
I look up Grums, and all it is people talking crap about it.
Yeah. And there was even like a web browser that created either an add-on or something with that browser that erased his name whenever he came up, and they're trying to erase him from the internet.
Wow.
Like, that's how unhinged people have gotten with Grums. It's triggered a lot of people, and usually it's because it's pointing out, some facts, and they don't like it.
Did he really get like a hit taken out on him, like a Bitcoin assassin or something?
A streamer offered money for someone to kill him, and I think their defense is like, oh, it was just a joke, but they actually said it. I will pay this amount of money for someone to kill him or something.
Look, guys, it wasn't a crime because it was a joke. But Boogie got I think Boogie's the one that got the Bitcoin assassin on him. Looks like played him Bitcoin.
Oh my gosh. That's a conversation in of itself, the extremism that is becoming more and more prevalent. Have you guys been noticing that?
Well, yeah, it's just basically like on a I guess it's on both sides. Really, it's the typical side. Even other Democrats or leftists are like going, "Whoa, wait a minute! Why they're going way too extreme? Like we hate Trump and reason and accountability and stuff like that. We don't hate him. We don't hate all that stuff this much. Come on."
I think it's the worst I've ever seen in my lifetime. it's hard for me to say exactly because like I wasn't paying attention when I was 10 years old about stuff, but it really does seem like the internet is accelerating a couple of things. Now, as to is it the worst ever in history? Well, no. The build up to World War II was insane. Like if you look at some of the conflicts, I think it was in Spain and stuff, you had like brothers fighting brothers to to the death and like blood on the streets and stuff. And so things have gotten really bad, worse at other points in history. Yet it feels like we might be approaching that kind of direction with how crazy people get. Like, I have had some successful tweets recently, some controversial tweets on Twitter where I've posted some memes. Well, just one meme. What? Like, I don't even think it was that offensive. It was just something fun, pointing like a contradiction out. And it's gotten over 1 million views, right? But people's reaction to it was wishing death upon me. Have you seen that? So, yeah, I think we're going to kill you with rocks, man. Kill yourself. End it all as soon as you can. It's like, these are not comments from stable people. And my comment on it was this. It was like, yes, perfectly reasonable responses to a meme about AI art and not psychopathic at all. The anti-AI art people most definitely have truth on their side with such compelling arguments such as these. And I just find it interesting that people are willing to go to such extreme, hate, right? Based on a meme. That talks about AI art, and it was this one. Did this cross your timeline?
I think it was this one. Did not create the concept act in.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah,
I remember this one. Yeah.
And so it's just comparing AI artists to directors, and it's not even. I'm not even saying Steven Spielberg is a bad director. I actually think he is it's done some amazing stuff. Jurassic Park is an amazing film, but he did not do most of the actual manual work in Jurassic Park. He's directing and getting people to try and follow his direction and vision and stuff. It's like, oh, that's kind of similar to what an AI artist does. And yet, people will say it's Steven Spielberg made the film. But AI artists, you didn't make it at all. And so I made a meme just pointing that out. And it's funny. People are like, man, you really suck at memes. And it's like, maybe, but it's got 1.6 million views and it seems to have gotten the message across pretty effectively. And yeah, people got really triggered by it. What you laughing at there, Mike?
You're such a troll.
I mean, it's not exactly the same. Like one is making a movie and the other one's actually doing art. I think it's a little bit different.
Man. What was the one? What was the one last time? Last 2? I know it's been 2 weeks, but
the Ghibli one. That one, wow, that one really triggered people.
Such a troll, man. Hats off, dude. You troll better than I do sometimes.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just like just pointing out a vein of truth, but also with a bit of snark and pointing out hypocrisy, because I'm all about consistent standards. That's kind of how I try and gauge, a lot of things. And when the AI art stuff came about, and I was looking at it, the thing that guided my principles was fair use, and I had appealed to fair use in so many things, with you making YouTube videos and stuff like that. I learned what it was, I understood it, and when this came up, people saying it's all theft, I'm like, well, hang on, that doesn't align with the standard that I've already been holding. And it's like, according to those standards, this is very much fair use application of art. We will get to Minecraft, but just on this notion about it being a common standard that you see artists have been doing for ages. Holy crap. There was this recently. Let me
actually this. Can I play the AI part of my video that I made? Because for those who don't know, I just did a cover for Ripaverse, and they finally launched that book, and I recorded it while I was doing it, and I used AI. Let me see if I can grab it.
Well, while you're grabbing that, let me share this from James Cameron. So James Cameron, legendary director James Cameron, right? He's made some impressive stuff. I'm not you know, your mileage on Avatar might change. But let me know if you guys can hear the audio from this.
The thing that's
So is that coming through? Did you hear the audio? Yep. So listen in.
the thing that I've been thinking about lately, because a lot of the hesitation in Hollywood and entertainment in general are issues of the source material for the training data and who deserves what and copyright protection and all that sort of thing. And I think people are looking at it all wrong. Personally, I think we are all. I'm an artist. Anybody that's an artist, anybody that's a human being, is a model. You're a model already.
Yeah.
You gotta.
Okay, he's referring to an AI model. He's not referring to like a model on a runway or anything like that. You possess a training set of information that you process and interpret. That's what he's referring to when he says everyone is a model. It's an AI model. Is saying
3.5-pound meat computer. You're not carrying all the training data with you. You're creating a model as you go through life to process quickly through that model every new situation that comes on. And as a screenwriter, you have a kind of built-in ethical filter that says, I know my sources. I know what I like. I know what I'm emulating. I also know that I have to move it far enough away that it's my own independent creation.
Right.
So I think the whole thing needs to be managed from a legal perspective as at what's the output.
Yeah, that's
not
right.
what's the input. The input, you can't control my input.
Yep.
You can't tell me what to view and what to see and where to go. My input is whatever I choose it to be and whatever has accumulated throughout my life. My output,
That's right.
the script I write should be judged on whether it's too close, too plagiaristic, whatever.
100%.
This is good. Finish it for me. Good artists borrow.
Great artists steal.
Right. That's everyone knows that.
Everyone takes inspiration and input from stuff like when I'm writing my book, I literally wrote a list of things I loved and want to emulate. I love magical swords. I love dueling culture. I love flying ships. I love floating islands and stuff like that. Let's put all those, sources and make my own unique creation. And then you judge it on the output. That is like probably one of the best ways I've heard anyone put the whole discussion.
Yeah, and if you have a story where you're just ripping off somebody else's story, it's like you watch Aragon. Have you seen Aragon? And you're just watching it and plot point by plot point. You're like, this is Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is Star Wars and the dragon is the Force. There's nothing else different about this movie than Star Wars.
And guess what? This is literally how the court cases are going right now. All the people that have taken Midjourney and Stable Diffusion to court for they've stolen my art and stuff like that. The courts have come back and said, okay, you need to show us where it has plagiarized your art. And so an output needs to have outputted a plagiarization of your art specifically. And this is not.
You have to program AI to do that if you want.
Yes, and that exactly. Yeah. It needs to be a case where it's just spontaneous and a user has not prompted and told it to try and produce that themselves. Because guess what? Telling AI to duplicate a pre-existing, copyrighted image is the same as copy and paste. Where you see an image copy, you are telling a computer to copy something and paste it in a new location. And if you do that with AI, that's the user doing it. The fact that there's a tool that has provided you the ability to do it is the same as like a copy and paste feature. Like we've had tools to copy things for how many years now, right? And so it's not the tool; it's based on the user.
And then they say that's how artists learn to draw, by copying.
Yes.
I think when it comes down to whether or not you copied somebody, or whether or not you plagiarized somebody, it's the question of if reasonable person looks at your art and they think, oh, it's the product of that person or this person, then that's kind of what they're looking at. It's like can a person be confused with this other person? And so that's kind of where you get into
in comic books throughout forever, right? Like Roger Cruz, Roger Cruz got work because he copied Joe Madureira.
I remember that. Wasn't it true during the 90s that everyone you could get a job if you could copy Rob Liefeld for a while?
Well, Jim Lee.
Well,
even Rob Liefeld started copying Arthur Adams. It's style. Yeah, people do that. So
you cannot copyright style.
Yeah.
And I had this. Yes, let me show you. But right on this topic of can't copyright style, I have like a debate that I had with, it was a good bloke, Joe Sontag, I think his name was,
Mhm.
and where
I had
this
him on
came
my
up
stream last week.
specifically. Oh yeah, he's a good bloke, and we talked about the style thing specifically. But yeah, Mike, share this.
Actually, I was on a stream with him, not on mine. All right, here we go. This is just a snippet from the whole video. Over and over again. Okay, so here's where this video gets controversial. AI. I am a AI as a tool. I believe that, for most professional comic book artists out there over the decades, we have used photographs in certain situations. Usually we will reference them, but in certain situations, you'll actually just trace over the photograph in order to drop a very complicated background or, whatever. We're always using reference. If you're a comic book artist and you're not using reference, you're doing it wrong. And AI has become
3D models.
where
Yep.
I can have unique stuff for backgrounds, whether it's a vehicle, whether here it's like, all right, I want like an old shack type bar because I wanted it to be like a bar fight. And it's like, what am I gonna do? Go cycle through 400 pictures of bars and try to cobble together things. And it's like, so I just went to AI and I put in the description of exactly what I wanted to do for the background. And weirdly, it was actually the first one that came up that I liked the best, that fit the angle of what I was doing. And so I just open that up, put it in the background, drop it out, and then what I'll do is I'll use that as sort of my breakdown / loose pencils, and then I'll go over it. And I'll ink it just in the same way I'm inking my own everything.
Yeah, so you ink over the AI, just
Yeah,
like
you'll
if you had a reference image.
Well, it's inks. It's black
Right,
and
you
white.
see
It's
it in
black
a
and white
second here.
illustration. So the black is obviously going to be the starkest part. So why horsemen? Why did I end up drawing horsemen?
Hold on, let me jump.
For Eric is because long ago, approximately me to or in general,
I want to get to the part where you see me inking over the
Mhm.
AI lines, which
the package
gosh,
of
it
horsemen
seems
was
like
awesome.
it's a lot
and
further.
it opened.
But like, this is such a brilliant use of AI as a tool. And I have trouble understanding people who would object to it.
Of
Yeah,
buildings
exactly.
or freaking
Look at this.
anything
So
where
much
you
easier.
have to work in perspective. I'm using a digital technology to help me do that, and now I'm using the AI as a layout so that I
Friggin'
drop
brilliant.
that digital technology on top of digital technology, and it just speeds up. Frankly, something nobody cares about. Generally speaking, backgrounds are afterthoughts. Like unless you're like doing an image where it's like the characters are part of the background, like they're teeny tiny in the background, and then the background becomes the main image. But when you're doing a big action shot like this, honestly, nobody's looking at the background. I've been doing this for 33 years. Nobody's really looking at the back. You know who's looking at the background though? Other artists, and they're or people who are looking for Easter eggs, right? Because that's the fun part when you're a comic book artist. That's where you drop your Easter eggs. Yeah, so you can see again when I'm going in here, I'm dropping my own textures. I'm not tracing everything in this.
And you're fixing up it. If there was artifacts or distortions in the AI, you just ignore it and draw your own. Yep.
Then I'm going.
Yeah, because AI doesn't always do like perfectly straight lines and stuff. It's kind of wonky, but
I would have done
great
with a quill
breakdown.
And a straight ruler, like a metal.
Anyways,
edge
you guys,
straight
if you guys
ruler
want to
when
watch
I was
the rest of
younger.
that, you can go ahead and check the channel. But
We can't have the horseman have like 7 fingers again. That'd be kind of insane.
Now, in terms of background,
at Rippaverse.com right now.
Yeah,
Grab that book. Go ahead.
It's Horseman #1, I think.
Yeah, Horseman
And-
#1.
Horseman
in terms of
#1.
backgrounds, like yeah,
Horseman.
people focus on the characters in the background, but if the background doesn't match or is out of place, people notice it. It stands out.
Oh yeah.
But when it blends in, it's almost like it's a silent kind of participant in the image where it supports it, but you don't notice it. And so yeah, really well done. Now,
that's not me saying backgrounds are afterthoughts. It's not an afterthought. It has to work, but generally it's something people don't pay a lot of attention to. It's it is what it is. People won't focus on the characters. Nobody's like, oh man, do you remember in Alpha Flight number 13 that background behind Sasquatch? Nobody fucking you know.
And so I was having a really good friendly debate, and it was a respectful debate with Joe M. Sontag, and he's a good bloke, and the topic of style came up, and I think I addressed it pretty good in this discussion, because just like with what James Cameron was saying, going back to him, like, you can't control what people take in and want to emulate. Now, plagiarizing a specific image, that's an issue, but copying a style, that you can't copyright a style. People can copy and duplicate style as much as they like. And so this is what I said in this debate here.
My point is that where is it sampling from? Because it doesn't create stuff out of thin air. It's got to take a style from something. It's got to take, you know, the skin or whatever it is. How do we know that it hasn't been trained off of some of the best artists, best this or that in the world that's been fed it? And if that's the case, and it's reproducing stuff in that style, then that is, in my opinion, art theft.
Oh no, you can't copy style. You can't copyright style. It's only art theft if it plagiarizes a specific image.
See, that's where I disagree in a
well, hang on, can I ask a
ethical
question?
point of
Because
view of it.
the background here, your images, right?
Yes.
These are yours images, I assume?
Yes.
They look very similar in style to like Michael Turner and some other artists.
Okay.
Are you stealing anything from them by having an art style that's similar to other artists?
So style is something different than an already
Yes.
created.
Yes, that's my
not
point. That is exactly my point.
I don't see that as the point here.
No.
It is
exactly. It is. Unless the AI image spits out an actual copy of an existing artwork, that's plagiarism. Okay. But I can tell it to make an artwork in the style of Michael Turner or yourself to make a new, just like if myself as an artist, I can try and copy someone's style by hand, just like, or everyone duplicating the anime style, right? That's not plagiarism or copyright at all. Every person can imitate and be inspired by other people's style. When a human does, I actually oftentimes see when people try and imitate other people's style, they're doing it because they love that style. I see it more of an expression of respect and homage, because what's the greatest form of flattery? Have you ever heard that saying? Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Just like you're saying, you have enough of your own variance on this style to make it your own. That's not to say that a lot of people don't do that. There are a lot of people who literally try and duplicate an exact one-to-one style. Anime is the perfect example of that.
True.
Okay, Dragon Ball Z has a more specific anime style that people also copy and duplicate with the intent of making it look exactly like the Dragon Ball Z anime style. Are they stealing?
That, in itself might be more or less in a lazy.
So I thought I put it pretty good in that debate there. And in terms of it being lazy, that final comment is like I think it's no more about it's flattery. They're doing it because they like what they see, and
it's unoriginal. I'll say that, but it's not lazy. There's a guy, I don't know his name, but he's posting stuff, and I think maybe even Joe Mad hired him to do the latest Battle Chasers or something. But he posts stuff all the time, and I'm like, dude looks just like Joe. Well, not 100%, but so close to Joe Mad that it's just like Joe would hire him, I think, to do stuff. And it's like Jim used to do that all the time. He would hire people because they drew like him, right? Because that's what they were looking for. In fact, I have a whole thing about that with him hiring me and then not bringing me to Wildstorm immediately. But that's I asked straight up. I was like, just because my second illustration didn't look like Jim drew it, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, see, that's business. You want the style that's going to sell. Editors are notorious for this. Editors don't know. Okay, not all editors, just most of them. Most editors don't have a clue what good art is. They know what sells. So they see someone that draws like Joe Madureira, who is hotcakes. They hire Roger Cruz because his samples look like Joe Madureira. They hire whoever because it looks like Jim Lee. They hire whoever because it looks like Arthur Adams. Eric Larson hired Vic Bridges because he looked like John Byrne. That's so common in comic books. It's laughable that anybody would even argue about that as actually being stealing. It's not. I will say, generally speaking, it's frowned upon by other professionals because you're not making your own way. You're riding someone else's coattails. But that's a separate argument.
Yeah, it is. And so I kind of see a shift happening quite like broadly with the perception of AI art generally. People are just coming around to it bit by bit and kind of acknowledging or even making the arguments I've been making for like over a year to 2 years now. And there's a shift happening in that regard. And maybe if we have time, we'll circle back because there's been some great stuff shared by Doug Tenaple, and I'd love to kind of share some of his tweets and stuff. But the main topic of today is actually Minecraft. So let's jump.
Well, before we move on, I just do have one more thing to say about this because I sort of marvel at this. For a long time or for a few years, I did art prints at conventions, right? And it was like, of course, it's my original art made into prints and whatnot. And a buddy of mine was an art rep for other guys, and I'm not going to say who the artist was because he's actually a professional artist and he does work. But what he would do is he would photo bash and he would take models and images and he would just smash them together to make original things. But none of it was like what I would consider art, but he was using the likenesses of the actors in the movies and, bashing it together with textures. Actually, Ryan Menderling does this for Marvel. Like if you go and you see any of the stuff that they're doing where they're creating the character designs for the movies, he's actually photo bashing too, but he does it different. Anyways, and he, because of the fandom out there who really doesn't care about comic books, they care about the movies. That dude outsold me constantly, sometimes 2-to-1 at conventions. Because the people don't actually care about the art, they care about the topic, right? And this piece of art looks like the guy I want. I don't care if someone actually took a pen and drew a thing. I just want the thing that looks like the guy.
Well, you're touching on something here. Like people want what they want, and they are less concerned about how it was made unless there's like massive human rights violations associated with it.
Yeah,
but generally,
it's
if
funny
they get what they want, like
these conventions won't let people in with AI art.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Like I think there is a lot of AI slop out there, but to call everything slop is just very short-sighted.
Where would we be without Greg Land? Like Greg Land was an icon in tracing pornography. And speaking of art, though, I just got in the mail an interesting product, an interesting item called Dr. Alpha Miracle Child. Now this one is signed by Mark Waid.
What?
I got connections. So a friend of mine actually went to a convention and his stand was right across the way from Mark Waid.
Sorry, Litev, I want to jump on this chat right here. Thank you for saying it. No fun, no hope, because this is the part side that people want to ignore. Most human art is slop. You ever been on an art site? Yes. Most art that people make across the board is low quality slop. That is the same for AI and handmade stuff. And what I was going to say with AI, a lot of it is slop. I'm willing to acknowledge, but call all slop is just throwing it all out the window without being honest, right? There is some unbelievable, incredible AI art that people put a lot of work into, which is just absolutely brilliant. And to think that, just because it's human made means it's better. It's like, no, there's a lot of crappy human made art as well. Sorry, Litev, I'll let you finish your point now.
I think the ones made by artists and everything with the art, I think it's like, from what I've seen, it's usually like the stuff where they're just beginning. And so it's kind of looks the same as everyone else, just timid little steps into brand new artist venture. But so I got this, I got a copy of my own comic signed by the Mark Waid. And a friend of mine had a stand at a convention, and his stand happened to be right across the way from Mark Waid. And of course, he gave Mark Waid a copy of my book, had him sign it, and then told him that it's an evil indie comic from the evil side of indie comics. I also got a couple more books from that side of Mark Waid, but it is really funny to have my own book signed by the evil man himself.
I don't know enough of the context. I've only heard like a snippets here and there.
That's a lot of lore to get into.
Yeah, a lot of
But to your point about so many artists, just like it's look, it takes a long time to develop the skills to be
Years.
at world class art, however you want to phrase it.
I would say it's kind of the same thing for a lot of things. Like it takes years for you to be an artist. Like at least takes years for you to be a competent artist, let alone a good one. It takes years for you to be a competent writer, let alone a good one.
Yeah,
like you can't just start off.
Here's the issue, though. A lot of these artists that you're going to meet, you ever see, you ever watch American Idol, and you have that 20-year-old kid get up there and just sing the most atrocious thing you've ever heard, and then when Simon tells them that it's absolutely the most atrocious thing he's ever heard, he doesn't believe him because my mom said that I'm the best there is really out good. There. I'm the best she's ever heard. And my friends say I'm a really good singer. This is what most artists act like when you confront them with the fact that they don't know what they're doing. They're like, "Nuh-uh, I was the best artist in my high school." I'm like,
these guys say it was great. So
back to I'm like,
it's just your opinion, Simon. It's just your opinion, bro.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah. I remember when I first watched American Idol, and I was younger, and it made me question humanity a bit. It's just like, but you need to be exposed to that level of delusion that people are capable of telling themselves.
Look, you need a little bit of it, because without that ego telling you you're good enough to keep going, you'll never get where you need to go. But you have to reach a certain point where you realize you're not as great as you thought you were 5 years ago. And then you look back at your work and you realize, wow, my art sucked 5 years ago. Recognize you probably think that about your art now, and it's in 5 years, it's the same thing. You have to be self-critical. You have to find people whose work you respect, and then listen to them when they critique you, because otherwise you're just never going to grow, and you're never going to get to.
It's a delicate balance. You being prideful enough to push, and you actually put yourself
humble
out there,
enough to recognize.
Know that you're not you're only a man. You're only a man.
So comments like this make me laugh, where I say photography is done by humans, robots are not people, and it's like, this is such a short-sighted thing where they say no, a human there's human input with photography, where they pick the shot and they set up the lighting. Well, not if it's outside, they have to pick the right time of day and stuff, okay, but then they completely try and ignore every single bit of human input that AI art requires, especially when it's complex or you add it into certain workflows and stuff like that, where the prompt is setting up the shot, okay, especially with reiterations and then in painting, and then if you actually use it as a tool, as a foundation then for further edits and manual change, like you cannot say photography is an art form and AI art isn't. Okay, it's a complete contradiction in terms of the setups. Like, photography is an art form, so is AI art, and to try and say that these things are so different that is just ignoring the reality of how these things are done. You press a button and you get a photo. That's what the human is doing. And if you're trying to say, oh, it's all the setup that the photographer does, well, that means you are just validating all the setup that an AI artist does, okay, and all the work that they do in post-production as well. But they like to ignore all that and just try and validate one, machine doing most of the work. And
more. Is a nature photographer an artist? Wow, that looks rad. That would make a great photograph. Click.
I've actually seen them set up. I would say, yeah. Because it's really tough to get those nature shots in the way that you need to get them. I can go out there with the camera.
I know, but you're not setting anything up, right? You're recognizing
beauty,
a frame, the way your nature has framed itself, and you're like, this here. I
But-
need to move a little bit over here so
Important
that
skill for Mars to have.
you know.
But guess what? Like having the ability to recognize beauty and capture it is a talent. I think there are people who are better at that than others, but that is exactly the same with AI art, right? Like having the ability to picture what you want, describe it in detail to guide the process, and then recognize the best outputs. And that's just on the most base layer. Then you have further edits and manual modification on top of it, where I spend hours modifying and improving and refining my outputs to get the best results. And these are all manual illustrative, edits that I'm doing. And that's on top of if I'm not even illustrating and drawing manually the initial pose and concept. And so I'm actually doing a lot more manual work, and a lot of AI artists do a lot of more manual work than nature photographers. And I think calling them both a valid type of art in their own field is perfectly fine. It's a different type of art. I'm not trying to say one is inherently superior than others. It's always going to be based on the amount of effort, the quality, the output. Okay. And yeah, just like what comments say, photography is a different kind of art. 100%. 100%. All right. Do we have all our...
In photography, the artist is God.
I actually agree. No, I do agree. I agree about that. I find like I guess, because when people say, is it art or isn't art, that is such a subjective thing. It's based on, people's interpretation, and belief of what it is. But there is an objective side to it, okay? Because you cannot force your standards of what is art on someone else. If someone genuinely believes it is art, it's art to them. You can't take that away or force your definitions on them. But then we reach an objective level after that. If someone legitimately believes something is art, right, that makes it art. You might not think it's art, but if someone else does, that is like the qualification of something to be considered art is someone to believe that it is. And as soon as it is, you hit an objective standard that it is art to someone. You can't take that away. You might then think it's not. You might think it's bad, but you can't take away someone's subjective interpretation belief that it is art. And then we reach an objective realm then, because you can't deny that. And then where can you go? The best you can say is that it's bad art. And you're more than free to think about that. Yeah. Art, trashy art. I hate modern art. I think modern art is an abomination.
Modern
art is a psyop.
Modern art is an abomination.
It is.
I put in my new video, I'm putting side by side the comparison of some guy putting together a sculpture, like minute piece by minute piece, versus a guy who just kind of like stacks sand buckets and lets it fall.
Yes.
It's very different. It's not the same.
Oh, 100%.
What does the sand bucket mean? Like, that's not art. It's supposed to be human expression. Okay, these guys, the modern artist guys, are the kind of guys that go, "Oh, it's not my place to explain my art. It's because they don't have any meaning behind them. It's what you put into it. It's empty, soulless, sloppy crap. And it's like what you put in there is what it means." Okay.
Yes.
Have you ever seen that AIDS fan where it's just like, "Oh, it's just a fan that they put behind glass and get you a little paragraph at the bottom, which makes it art." It's like, "Oh, this guy's boyfriend died of AIDS," and boom.
Do you remember the guy who dropped his glasses in the museum and people started taking pictures?
They thought it was modern art. Yeah, that's what makes it so meaningless. You could just accidentally make modern art. That's what makes it so meaningless. There's no expression. There's no intent. It's just like, "Oops, I dropped my glasses. Oh, this is so deep and meaningful." Shut up.
It's I think what's his face? Jordan Peterson would call it the war on competence.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
This is So also there is it is also spoken about by Bret Easton Ellis, which I also go over from his book White, where it's like the modern day way things are going is it kills art. It kills artists. Like, he's like, what's going to happen? What would happen to a guy like Sinatra? Like, would he be allowed to make art in a world that is self-censorious, that's so self-critiquing? They say you censor yourself in this society. Or would he be allowed to mess up? Would he be allowed to create art? Or would he be like trapped making songs about identity and race and all that crap? Yeah, what is this?
What the hell?
I had this video.
This is modern art. True art, everyone.
So the when Joseph Campbell talks about this, he's like, there's a weird, strange thing that happens of people who never grew up, where they cling to images of infancy.
Yeah.
And so look at modern art. It's drawing on the wall. It's spilling sand buckets.
This is literally like toddler level behavior.
This is modern art. It's I think it's deep, but it's
elevating mediocrity and uselessness.
This is celebrating mediocrity. This is the lack of craft. So Brace Nellis talks about how craft is not just forgotten about, it's demonized. The idea of developing a craft, developing a skill, it's outright demonized because it's seen as oppression. Like, you think I have to develop my craft? Why can't I just smack around a pen on the paper and say I'm a genius? Why can't I just drop a bucket of sand and say I'm a genius? That's way better.
I hate the world.
And then we get to I'm sitting on this. I don't think it'll get as much traction as the last meme I made, but there is literally a thing called vomit art, where people vomit up paints onto a canvas. And
well, look, it's so deep. It's so meaningful. What is
so deep?
I hope they're using lead paint.
Ask the artist what it means. Oh, it's racism or something. It's like, war is bad or something.
Right? And there are people that spend hours on creating really impressive AI works with a lot of manual illustration. They're actually doing things by hand to correct, refine, guide, get the results they want. And that's a lot more work than someone throwing up on a canvas, you know?
I think Always Sunny had a brilliant rendition of this, where it's the episode called, I forget what the episode is called, but it's the one where they has a line, "Poop is funny," and so Dee wants to escape this whole mystery about who pooped the bed. So she goes to a museum, and it's all modern art. It's all poop. I guess it looks like they just sprayed out of the artist. It's like everywhere she goes to the modern art exhibit, it's just all poop exhibits.
Well, here's the thing, and one of the commenters, picked up on it. I hate modern art, right? But if people legitimately believe it is art to them, and I can't take it away. So like it is like it's crappy art. I think it's atrocious. I think it's a celebration of mediocrity and just trying to invent a meaning and depth when there is nothing there. Okay, but if people
I can certainly try to take it away. I mean, nothing held them back from taking away our beloved things for the last 10 years. So I mean,
good luck.
Fair is fair.
But I at the end of the day, if they want to believe it's art, they get to believe that. That's their freedom to do it. And that's just me being consistent with the standards of what is art.
You know what? AI makes better modern art than modern artists.
Yeah, it does. No,
well, that gave me 5 seconds. Hey, look, I made a bridge.
AI. Oh man, I wish I could look this up. I don't know what it is. Let me think. It's is it AI visual illusion? I'm not sure if you guys have seen some of this, where they said AI will never create anything new, and that's actually just false. There are things that people are doing with AI art that we have never seen before, and it's actually a bit nuts.
Well, we already have the truism of there is nothing new under the sun. So
yeah. Well, have you seen stuff like this, where AI can make these crazy patterns with image constructions where there's two images embedded into one another, and this is just low tier stuff compared to some of the
like when you have puppies and they're standing together, but they make a word.
Make
a
word.
George Floyd one.
Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy. All right, have a look at this one. All right,
but they are getting that. There was an artist. Was it Escher? There was an artist that did this stuff back in the day, where they would create a scene, it just looks like a scene, and then you blur your vision and you see there's a face in the scene.
Well, have a look at this. Do you see the face? Squint.
Yeah, it's Mario.
It's Mario. There's Mario there. Stuff like this is brilliant. It's actually brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, I think it was MC Escher earlier. Because he was
wow, I haven't seen this one. Wow. This one just came up on a search. Squint at this one. Gosh,
Oh no.
who is it? I can't recognize.
It's a meme. The
Is it
kid
the
from
meme
the
guy?
meme with the
This is like the worst picture ever, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
whoops. Oh, whoops. But like the detail and how it achieves that is just it's
Z3. We're
crazy.
getting to Minecraft. Hold on. We'll get there.
Yeah, that's probably a good cue. I've been trying to get onto the Minecraft for a while now.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
lukewarm when it comes to AI stuff. Unfortunately, I can't muster up that much passion. Sorry, but
yeah, clearly.
All right, Minecraft. I enjoyed it. Tell me why I'm wrong.
No, you
Yeah.
can enjoy it, but it's a horrible movie. It's just bad.
I haven't seen the movie,
You
but
can't
my
be that
prediction
bad if
was
I enjoyed
that
it.
my prediction about that stuff was as it was pure brain with a brain rot. It's kind of
It's popcorn.
that's what it looked like it was going to be
Popcorn.
in the brain rot genre. Is that true?
Yes, yeah. I on a technical level, it's really bad. But there's lots of memes, and I'm guessing, Mike, you enjoyed Jason Momoa.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was great. It was funny because going into it, I was like, "Why is Jason Momoa dressed up like a fag?" Right? And it's like, but it's not. That's not. He's not gay. He's not effeminate. He's freaking stuck in 1989, and that's. And you go back. I lived through the 80s. That's
I thought
what some people dress like. So it's
I thought he got typecasted as this character from Fast X, who is kind of gay.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that, but he wasn't gay at all. He was very macho, except for when he like got scared, which was funny because it was outside of character what you already saw, and then he like screamed like a little girl. It was hilarious. So that was for comedic effect.
Is there like The Room?
Thomas Blackfire in the comments, he says, "I think the Minecraft movie is this generation's The Room. So bad that it's just fun to watch."
No, I went up with a party of 18 people to see this movie, and I hadn't seen audience participation in a movie like that since I used to go see Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I just 9 out of 10 of the people that we went with just freaking loved it.
What did they love about it? Did they say?
Dude, just so much fun.
Just fun.
It was a freaking roller coaster. It was fun. You didn't have to think about the plot. You knew what was happening. The meme, everybody knew the memes before they went into the movie, and it was it wasn't as bad as like those guys that go flint and steel, and then everybody no chicken jockey, and then throw all the popcorn bags and all that
I
stuff.
heard about that one, yeah.
That one's bizarre to me.
Right, but that's
what about the Hail Joker thing?
Whole generation, dude. The whole generation is like they're having the best time at this movie, and they're going to see it over and over again, and it's going to make $1 billion, and they're going to make another one.
It's gonna make bank. Mike,
I get at least 3.
How often are you going to rewatch this film?
And me personally, I'm probably not going to see it again, but the kids would.
It's like
But
Fast.
but bro, who are the heroes in this movie?
Who are the heroes?
Yeah, because the girls didn't even need to be in it.
Yeah,
right?
The girls could just be they were
Jack Black,
non-entities.
it was the kid, and it was freaking Jason Momoa. 3 straight white males. We won. Take the win.
Really? Because they tried to do the girl boss thing where the girls are more competent than the guys. They could fight better than them. Yeah, they could have been just completely cut from the film. They were utterly useless to it.
Oh, there's a video going on YouTube, or not YouTube, on Twitter, of some Karen yelling at kids to shut up because they were booing the black chick in the, at the end of the movie.
That's pretty based.
This is, I actually think, like flash in the pan, lightning in the bottle, a very like rare occurrence where Hollywood is now going to try and duplicate it and fail nearly.
They probably get like at least 3 movies out of this. I think like at least 3 Minecraft movies.
This is kind of the duplication of Mario Brothers.
Is it?
Yeah, I guarantee you this got greenlit right after Mario Brothers did.
Yeah, because now what they're going to do, they're just going to try and mine popular franchises, particularly video games.
They also have that Zelda movie.
this is why the title of this Minecraft movie is a problem, because now they are going to think that quality doesn't matter as long as you throw in memes and make it dumb and give people like the references that they want, the Easter eggs, and they think that
superheroes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
and
that's my main issue with the movie. Is like I didn't see it, but I knew it was gonna be kind of brain rot kind of genre. And I was like, it sounds fine. And everyone, the argument for this movie is like, oh, just let the kids have fun, because they will have fun to the to the tune of $1 billion. But really, it's unhealthy. Like it's like eating fast food. Yeah, the kids will love fast food. Let the kids eat the fast food, but it's not healthy for you. It's not good because it doesn't really have any substance to it.
Well, tell me what you thought was actually bad about the movie, Shad.
I've got a whole review that you can check out where
I didn't watch it on purpose because I wanted to ask you.
I'm excising it from my memory, but look, the worst part was Jack Black. Like, I think he hijacked the film and just plays an almost
Steve. What do you
hype.
mean
No, he's not Steve at all. Like they could have done.
I mean, he's Steve in the movie.
No, he's not Steve. They could have done something that felt far more authentically Steve. This was Jack Black being Jack Black dialed up to 11, where he's constantly.
That's why you hire Jack Black.
See, no, because this is the other bad lesson they're going to learn from it. They are going to think it's because Jack Black that this movie is successful and they're going to cast him in future things, and it is not. He was the worst part of the film.
Jack Black does not need help getting cast into future things.
Well, now he won't, and you'll see how well he's able to sail on his Jack Blackness in the future. The Minecraft movie.
He's done it his entire career. When has he not been, other than King Kong? When has he not?
I can't wait for Jack Black to play Ganon in the new Zelda movie.
All right, they probably will. It's become old and stale. At first, like there was some humor to it, but when you do the same thing over and over, it's like, oh, Jack Black again. But now it's just more Jack Black, like in everything, where he's constantly trying to get the attention in the scene, and saying something in just like a Jack Black overly dramatic way or something like that, or sneak attack. That's not funny. That's just being dramatic and dumb. And our kids might laugh at it because it's silly, right? But there's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there.
Did you like Nacho Libre?
Never watched it.
Nacho.
Sometimes men wear
he's good when he has like a story that has substance, like Kung Fu Panda. That's some good stuff.
I think perfect. He was the perfect role for Kung Fu Panda, right?
Absolutely.
I think that's probably his best role he's ever done. And then there's other times when he's able to, try and act. Shallow Hal, good job in that one. And King Kong, where he's just playing a character. He can do the job and step outside of this, hyperactive, almost spurging out version of him. But that's all we got in the Minecraft thing. And like, how much block building was in the Minecraft film? How much block building?
Enough.
Once. It happened once.
No, it didn't.
Then it was just filled with references. Yeah, when they build the tower. When did they actually build something in the plot, in the story, that was meaningful and important?
Oh, well, you had it in the beginning when Jack Black was...
That's just montage stuff.
The powers. Right. Well, he discovered it. Right.
Yeah, but it's not serving anything in the plot.
And then the kid used it.
When the block building does something.
No, but they were crafting.
They were crafting, but that was like, rarely did it actually mean anything. You didn't need the kid just like, oh, I'll put a bunch of junk on there, add a tater tot, and I make a gun. And then I could make like a rocket pack and stuff like that, where there could have been a really satisfying arc where he needs to learn how to survive in the Minecraft world, use the mechanics to his advantage. There were fun parts in it, I reckon. And that's when they actually started to embrace some of the Minecraft stuff. But most of the film was just hollow Easter eggs and memes. Kids can love that, right?
What was your theater like?
Not very packed. It was just, nowhere near the energy that has been another. That was barely a
yeah, because I don't think. Our theater was so loud we probably missed a quarter of the dialogue. But that was, again, it was an event.
Yes, right? Yes. I think it's sailing off of the that type of thing where people think you got to be there because everyone else is there. Then they're getting involved with the emotion of the audience and people around, and they're getting hamped up and riled. The chicken jockey thing isn't a joke. It's not funny. Where is the punchline? All it is a reference that people are going ballistic over because the reaction is more funny.
It's like someone who understood memes wrote the movie.
Well, the reaction is more funny than the joke. They're all going ballistic because it's fun to go ballistic, not because the joke is anything. It's nothing. It is literally like if you want evidence as to what encapsulates the Minecraft film, it's that right there. Chicken jockey.
To me, it's kind of like if it's like just a meme, it's kind of like making a funny face, and that's the punchline. It's like the face is funny. There's no build up, there's no substance to it. Like if you listen like a Dave Chappelle stand up, like there's build up, there's setups and payoffs and things like that. And any good movie, any good show is gonna be set up and payoffs, things of that nature. But in like a movie like that where it's just like a meme, like it's just like here's a picture, laugh, here's another picture, laugh. It's kind of what you're doing. It's like it's just baby stuff. It's like
it is. But I think it's playing to that audience, and I think it's playing very well with that audience. And to me, like I said, this reminds me,
Thomas. Like I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Chicken jockey.
If this is
not
peak comedy,
about the comedy of it, right? It is about like it's about the meme. It's the freaking dude. I mean, you have just kids. I know because I'm in a high school group and I hang out with teenagers all the time. They will just freaking shout out chicken jockey, right? It's like it's a meme. This is a meme powered movie. It is a totally it's like I said, to me, are you guys old enough to have ever gone to midnight showings of Rocky Horror Picture Show? I know you probably would not have gone, Shad.
No.
But it's a similar thing. It's like you don't necessarily want to sit and watch Rocky Horror Picture Show on the VHS on the TV, right? But you go to and kids would go see this every freaking Friday night for years because of the meme of that movie. It was like predates all this meme stuff. But when people would go to the event of watching Rocky Horror Picture Show where they're all shouting out the lines at the same time, they're all in, and it's just this, it becomes its own cult of personality. And I saw that when I was watching this movie. I was like, holy crap, this is electricity like I have not seen in decades.
It's funny that you say cult because there is this aspect to it that I think there's some validity, not all, it's not a perfect analogy, but in terms of everyone riling each other up, and there's like a feedback loop of people wanting to get more energetic than the people around them, where it's the interaction.
It's like going to a game.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly. Right, where it's the interaction that's actually getting people the entertainment, not the quality of the source material itself.
Not just the source, right? But it was brilliant that they freaking, they put out the commercials. The commercials became the memes. The memes went everywhere, all before the movie ever came out. And so when they went in, first day, first showing, it was like you'd watched Rocky Horror Show for 10 years. It was crazy.
All right. See, my natural instinct, and it's not common. This is actually like more uncommon to just human behavior. My natural instinct is to always first be skeptical and try and move away from where the crowd goes. Where if I see a group of people jumping onto something, I'm more interested as to why and more reluctant to go along with it because I hate being manipulated. And so as a result, I it's very hard for me to get on board with that whole kind of, cultish almost meme. They're like, chicken jockey. I'm just looking at like,
dude, we live in meme culture now. Have you not paid attention? Have you not noticed?
Well, that's how Trump got elected.
Exactly. The reason Trump is in the White House is because of Minecraft.
The power of
I'm not saying it can't be used for good, but I'm saying it can be used for bad, like giving a bad film way more credit than it deserves. Because, like, I find it fascinating.
We got a lot of
They-
Rocky Horror fans in the chat, though.
That's
Oh,
a good movie.
good.
Rocky Horror. It's a good movie.
How do
Isn't
you?
it just full of like cross dresses and stuff?
I mean,
It's really good songs.
Like I see images of Rocky
there's a
Horror,
couple-
and
actually, no,
I
actually, I think Frankenfurter's the only cross-dresser.
Is that the main character?
Yeah. Well, no.
'Cause
Kind.
I-
The main
I
villain,
see
guess?
images of a man in woman's underwear and I gag, right? Like I get repulsed by that crap. And I wonder, like, how the hell could anyone enjoy that?
There's
That is
also this like motion
repulsive.
pictures Adonis.
The music.
No,
is great.
no, that doesn't redeem it for me at all. man.
Sexual Transylvania.
Yeah.
I hear that and I just think like I want to throw up, right? I
With anticipation.
Why don't you stay for a night?
but look, that's
I can
actually
show you my favorite obsession.
that's an aspect of my own personality that I know is a little different, but I am happy about, and I happily try and condition in myself because I hate following the crowd. And then I'll look at it and it's like, no, there is validity to it. Then I'll jump on board and I don't care if I'm going along with the crowd because I know I'm going along with it, not because other people are, but because I legitimately agree with the thing at play. And look, I have a reputation for being a contrarian because of that. And for good reason. That's actually something that I'm quite consistent about. If I see like a dog pile or a bandwagon, I'll think about it first. And usually might push against it. And maybe that's why I really dislike the Minecraft movie, because I'm seeing all these memes that don't have any humor really to them. And I'm just like thinking, this is really dumb.
my main, I don't really hate the Minecraft movie itself or even the idea of it itself. It's like, fast food, it's good every once in a while as a treat. But it's really bad to just eat fast food. And the way this is going, as you said earlier, is that Hollywood is going to look at this billion-dollar sensation, go, let's just make all of our movies like this.
That's the issue. Hollywood does not understand memes.
If they want to move back to having straight white males being the hero, I'm all down with it.
Go watch The Working Man.
I'm more about I want good
I saw The Working Man
messages. I'm all about I want good messages and masculinity and stop vilifying straight white men. But I don't care about the protagonist if they're straight white, as long as they're a good protagonist.
Well,
and they're
also
not
you
vilifying
have to consider
groups.
how much this ground Snow White into the dirt.
That is very satisfying.
That's pretty funny. Yeah.
Snow
White, I saw Snow White. It sucked. It was really, really bad. Except for the part where they did to the Evil Queen.
There's silver linings here, because I think one of the silver linings is a kind of vindication, validity to the idea that as long as it's not woke garbage, it can still be garbage, but people will have less aversion to it if you're not trying to propagandize or subvert traditional kind of concepts. It can still be slop. And by the way, I'm not saying I'm not someone who can't like crap. There are films that I know are terrible that I really enjoy and love.
There's a lot of garbage I love.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good sloppy
There was
action
a lot
movies.
There was a lot of good stuff in this movie, though. I mean, you can nitpick the other stuff, but yeah,
there's some good. I enjoyed the Creeper Den.
What did you not like about Jason Momoa, dude?
No, I almost got a chuckle once, and it's when he ninja kicks the door and he fails at it, and that was all down to his delivery and performance.
What about when he stole the kids' tater tot pie?
No, see that he was trying so hard, and a lot of it didn't land for me, and it came off a bit more cringy as a result because it's just try hard.
That's the thing. He was supposed to be, dude. He's a freaking 40-something-year-old dude living in 1989. He's still got the hair rocker haircut and wearing a pink jacket.
I don't know, I got
vibes of 78 Firebird, which I thought, by the way, was the best.
In a vacuum, that character sounds awesome. Let's give him like a shotgun or something.
Yeah, so I got a couple of vibes of.
Litev doesn't know the character because he didn't see the movie. So he's a guy. He won this video game competition when he was a teenager in 1989, or maybe not even a teenager. I don't know how old he was.
He's been living off of that one victory forever.
He's been living off of that high point in his life for the rest of his life.
Well, a vacuum, that character sounds awesome.
but no, The thing is, though, I got vibes of gamers are loser incels from him, where, you know, if you're into games and everything like that, you're like, you're a loser. You're never going to really achieve anything else in your life, and you're going to ride off of these victories that actually don't mean anything. If you think you're good at games, that means spit, and you'll be a loser for your whole life. I think
Yeah, but that'd be kind of a little contradicted by the fact that you're watching a freaking Minecraft movie.
Not necessarily. He didn't use any of the skills. Like, what annoyed me is that
what's the moral of the movie? You love the moral of this movie.
No, I don't.
What's the moral of the movie?
Go abandon Minecraft. And well, I'm trying to hang on. You tell me what you think the moral is first, because I found it weird.
Abandon and don't let the world crush your creativity. That was the moral. That was the freaking tone of the movie.
All right. They didn't sell it because they didn't do anything creative to
sold
actually
it to
win or
me.
earn it.
I wasn't busy trying to hate the movie.
No, I wanted to like it. I would rather me enjoy films, right? What creativity did they actually go through and earn, and wasn't just given to them? Like all the top end gear was just given to them by Jack Black because he had it, so they didn't need to go through
main
to farm it themselves.
The kid was bullied and crap because he was creative, and then the whole thing about the main villain turned into the villain because they crushed her creativity. Jack Black was bullied and whatnot for not being able to be creative. The whole freaking message of this story, the whole through line was don't let the world crush your creativity. How did you miss that?
No, the execution was arse because they don't actually create anything of their own effort that they earn. The kid just spews things out and can make a gun, right? He didn't need to go through an art
even in the real world, dude. The dude made a freaking jetpack.
I know. How did he freaking learn that? It was just like he achieves things because he achieves
it
things.
was his creativity. And, obviously, it's a little cartoonish.
And then in the world where Jack Black could be creative, he decides to abandon that and leave the Minecraft world where creativity is unbound, and then sing with Marmoa crappy songs.
So that wasn't creative? Watch this movie. Being a musician is not creative.
Bad song. If they were good songs, maybe. But there's like, let's just make bad music.
You know what has good songs? Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's good songs.
That's right. Fantastic songs in that. My daughter actually knows all the songs, but
I'm a little surprised you like Rocky Horror, because that's just
I did not grow up a Christian, dude.
Okay.
The bad guy is
I look at him and just like you know.
Well, he's the bad guy, so yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, he's the villain.
I don't know.
He's the villain.
Yeah,
the transsexual is the villain. Makes sense.
He's the tempter and the villain. He's not the
I think the message of Minecraft is surface level at best, with very poor execution in what they're actually portraying. Because I do not think the message validates poor execution, because then we would be saying the message of The Last Jedi is great, because there's an attempted message there, but the actual execution paints a complete opposite picture. And so many
the message was so clear. I don't know how you missed it.
No, I saw it. Like, they were trying to beat you over the head, but I deny the message because the execution doesn't achieve it. What they're actually doing in the film.
How? What are you talking about?
Because they're not actually being creative. They're not like thinking of new creative things. They're not learning how to work in the Minecraft world to do something. And the kid doesn't have to. He just, here's a gun, and he achieves it. And even the payoff at the end, right, is just Deus Ex Machina slop, where Jason Momoa comes in and saves him because, it's a fake out. He didn't really die. It was really, really poor storytelling.
Let me go watch the Minecraft movie real quick. I'll be right back.
Too many spoilers.
I'd love to get your opinion, Dev. It's
I got to watch this movie, aren't I?
I love the message. I love that it wasn't a bunch of woke crap. The only really thing that was stupid was the little 3-minute girl boss scene. We could have done without the chicks altogether, practically.
How close is the Minecraft movie to the Lego movie?
Nowhere near. I like the Lego movie. The other movies.
I like the Lego movie. I even like Lego Batman. Lego Batman was great.
Like
Lego
people have been
Batman.
comparing it on scales, actually. Like in terms of
It is.
children's movies that are adapting like franchises or properties, Lego Movie you have at the very top. Mario you have in the mid-tier, medium,
Yeah, that's
like,
all right.
it's average. Is that all right? And Minecraft is the bottom of the barrel slop, riding off of the fumes of meme culture and novelty. I don't think this is going to last in like a legacy that people are going to want to show their children or watch again or anything like that. You watch it once, most
I
people are going to
wouldn't
be
be
done with it.
surprised if this turns into a midnight showing event type movie,
As bad as The
Could be,
Room.
yeah.
like The Rock. I don't know.
I don't think it's bad enough to reach that.
Well, and it's
No,
really
I'm
easy
just saying,
because
it's like,
everyone can
if
get
people are-
popcorn and throw it.
I think people are going to want to go to this movie for the event of it.
Yeah, once maybe.
No,
maybe-
I don't mean once. These.
I could be
again,
wrong.
dude, you didn't
Boom.
have the Rocky
Yeah,
Horror
this-
Culture. People
this could be
will go
boomer
to
Shad.
that kind of a thing for the event of it, week after week after week.
Mhm. That's
Some guy
possible.
says that this will be the next Rocky Horror. I think that is very possible.
Possible. Like
This could make billions over
my
years.
kids wanted to watch it because it was Minecraft. They had to see it. They had to see if it was bad or good. The curiosity
your
was the
kids
thing
like
that
it?
got them there. My littlest one loved it because it was just goofy, stupid fun. And my teenage boys, they were just like, yeah. They were ambivalent to it. A lot of Minecraft purists are annoyed at because it's not like they get so many Minecraft references either out of context, they don't embrace it, or and other things like that.
I'm pretty sure there's a contingent of people who don't like it because it does the whole modern world and game world kind of thing. It's crossover, which people don't really like that much as often. To me, it worked with the Super Mario. I like the Super Mario Brothers movie, like the old one with Gazamo. It's the right type of nonsense. It's like that makes sense in the era. It's like it has its own charm. See, I told you I can like garbage. All right, it has to be charming garbage.
Yes, yeah. They'll definitely make a sequel now, and they have an opportunity to make a better Minecraft movie. They're not going to. They're just going to try and redo the slop that they made in the first one. Jack Black being Jack Black and memes. And let's see if they can luck out and do it a second time. I think it's a flash in the pan. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I don't think they'll be able to do it. And the problem is, I think everyone's going to try and copy the success now. It's like Fortnite. Let's do a Fortnite movie.
Fortnite movie's coming along. Remember when they tried to do the emoji movie? I mean, they did it. It's
my
terrible.
gosh!
But they tried to do it.
I never saw that.
I saw it. It was so bad. Like, what the hell is this nonsense? But I'm pretty sure like the next one they're gonna get Hero Brian. They have to have Hero Brian in the second one. That's gonna get people in seats. That's like a Minecraft legend. It's notches.
Well, they
ghost-
set it up for the sequel, right?
Well, they'll have to go back to the Minecraft world for a number of reasons.
They'll find a way.
There's creative things you could do.
Wait, did you stay for the after credit scene?
No, hang on. No, what was the after credit scene?
Oh, hey, who was the girl? Alex was in the after credit scene.
Was she? Was she in the Minecraft world?
Yeah. Do you have anything to say about this, Micah?
Hang on. I need to look this up because I thought there wouldn't be one.
Well,
so.
Either way, a sequel will find a way.
Yeah, and then the sequel. They have to do 3, and then the last one is the one when they go to the Ender Dragon, right?
Well, they have to get to the Ender Dragon. I haven't even seen the movie, but I know they didn't cover everything. There's no way they covered everything. So I mean, they have like the Ender where they have the what's it called, the Wither to fight. They have a Hero Brian to encounter, which is a big thing in Minecraft.
You know way more about Minecraft than I ever will. So you want to jump in on this or no? No. But
It's
yeah,
a big
all my
audience.
kids play freaking Minecraft, dude.
They're going to add in an anime world because there is a Japanese biome in Minecraft. They could totally like mix up Minecraft and weeaboo crap. in there somehow.
Well, there are lots of creative things you could do. Imagine like if the world started to legitimately turn into the Minecraft world, like things are converted into blocks and stuff like that. And one of the things is to use the Minecraft mechanics to send the Minecraft world back into its own, reality, its own universe. But some people choose to go into it because they love it so much, right? And there's an interesting concept there where you could have worlds colliding kind of stuff crossing over. Or you could have done like, it's another reality that you could you didn't even need to do the worlds crossing over thing. You just have it in the Minecraft world, like Minecraft story mode or something like that, right? But there are really fun mechanics that they didn't even bother to work with in the film that is all around Minecraft, where the people, when they're in the Minecraft world, they legitimately need to learn how to do this stuff to survive, succeed. And what about the friggin' Ender Dragon, like the end boss in Minecraft? And I know there's there's like a loose series of objectives that you can do that culminate in fighting the Ender boss, which there's no real story there. But you could adapt that into a story, like the Ender Dragon is actually breaking free or coming into the real world or something like that. Any number of these fun concepts you could play with, and they just didn't even try.
Okay, if you got to the Ender Dragon in the first movie, where would you go for the second movie?
Ramp it up. The Wither Storm. Yeah, that's from Minecraft story mode and stuff. Like there's monsters aplenty that you could play with the Minecraft lore and work with. And it's like they did, they'll do memes. And look, I know that it's a massive success, and I'm torn about it because I love that crushed Cinderella. Sorry, not Cinderella. Snow White, as you said. I'm glad that the movies the cinemas have a win, even though I do think it's a dying industry. I'm not sure they have much hope to get.
I think Rachel Zegler deserved the success of Snow White. She deserved all that success.
You reckon? I think her career's done. She'll never be in a big a casting again, I reckon.
I mean,
what do you guys think?
I feel so lonely now.
I don't know, actually.
I dropped something. I'm picking it up. I'll still talking.
At this point, I think it can go two ways. Either they're going to go ahead and let her go, or they're going to what seems to be predominantly just dominant in Hollywood, which is we're going to put her in more things because you hate her. There seems to be the passion of a lot of things being created is like, well, how can we make the Chuds angry? How can we make MAGA angry? And that's how they make a bunch of stuff, and they'll make us angry for like 5 minutes and then be stuck with $100, $200, $300 million bill.
Yeah, I think they're losing too much money to own the Chuds with slop now. They're being forced to course correct, and like Snow White is a monumental failure at this point. They're saying it might be one of the biggest failures of Disney history. Like it's getting those realms.
Even without Rachel Zegler, it was really bad.
It was really bad.
It was shallow shells.
Perfect storm disaster.
It's like I still think it was cursed by Walt Disney's ghost. I mean, that seems actually plausible at this point.
I kind of agree with you, but more from a religious perspective and almost a bit calmer and stuff. Like I actually think, our Heavenly Father, not always, but might,
strike it down.
Not necessarily that, but if something has eternal truth, I actually do believe that resonates with people on a spiritual level, and you feel inspired by it, and that is connected with our connection.
Oh my gosh, Snow White isn't even in the top 5.
Dude, it's a disaster. What's been going on with
not
Snow
even
White?
in the top 5 anymore. It's so funny.
I'm wondering if I bookmarked.
I'm trying to find it so I can see how much it's made so far. Snow White. It didn't even make $1 million this week. Worldwide, it's only made 182 million. This is gonna lose Disney $300,000 to $400,000.
No, not million.
They reshot stuff. Huh?
They reshot stuff.
million. Yeah, 3 or 4.
No,
maybe
I
half
think
a billion. It might cost them $500 million.
Might be like closer to $500 million loss. Think about that. Because you have the budget, right? And then the reshoots, and then the marketing budget on top of that, okay? And to break even, they need to get because you only get 50% of ticket sales and stuff, and so the box office needs to be like what 800 million or something like that to break even, or something. Or it's somewhere around those realms. They are going to lose.
I wonder how far away we are from them stop privating box office numbers and reports. So they can't keep
box office mojo gets hacked.
Remember how YouTube got rid of the downvote button to protect smaller creators? It's like that kind of bullshit. It was like, it's like, oh, we're doing it to protect indie movies or something, it was that kind of nonsense.
Man, as I was saying, it's like the perfect storm disaster for them, because not only is the movie really bad, and the movie is genuinely dog crap, almost as poorly written as the Minecraft film. Actually, not. It's worse. It's even worse. I'd say it's even worse. Worse written than Minecraft. Then you have all the Rachel Zegler stuff, which and she managed to piss off unbelievable amounts of people. Like really, yeah. Like,
did you see that chick mocking her with her jaw out?
Yes.
That was she was generating a bunch of memes. It was not flattering memes at all.
No.
I don't know why she did that. Why would you put your jaw out when you have a knife pointed at you? It doesn't make any sense. But what was it? So with the Snow White movie, it was a sewn together Frankenstein's monster of different crap. It was just, okay, we need the thieves, we need the dwarves are over here now, and it's just a mess. Like there was like no direction. It was like a bunch of things that had, it probably would have been better for the movie if they actually did do the whole thing of like she goes Rambo and starts killing everybody during that one scene. If I would have been, at least something would have been cool about the movie.
Snow White almost seems to be a culmination, the end point of the constant fear of traditional values and masculinity, where they had to take away every traditional concept of feminism. The original Snow White is an archetypical film of traditional femininity, where she offers to cook and clean to get the protection of stronger men, right? Like, think about that, like natural archetypical exchange that's the basis of the human race is fundamental in the original Snow White story. She gets people wanting to protect her and admire her through kindness and service and gentle feminine attributes, like genuinely. And those are, like everything that I've just explained, are fundamental things that the woke and movement and Disney, modern day Disney, despise. They resent that. And so they had to gut everything out of that original Snow White concept. Can't be saved by a man, has to be a leader and all that stuff, girl boss and everything.
Pay attention to the power dynamics. If there is a man in the film, he has to be weaker than her in status, and physicality usually.
And that's their approach. And so Snow White is an insult to traditional roles and archetypical, character, constructions and writing, archetypical writing and stuff. And there's a reason why archetypes in writing are created, right? It's because they speak to essential truths, and it goes back to the concepts of the hero's journey, damsel in distress, all these stuff. Like, those became popular and retold time and time again because there is truth there that is resonating with people. And it's also instructive. It's good for girls to watch Snow White, right? The original Snow White I'm talking about, and learn, I can offer, gentle kind of things that I can do. Like I could cook and clean and offer that as an exchange for protection and use, my own means of gaining power and influence in more traditional ways. And they can learn valuable lessons from that, right? Also, cautionary tales, like if someone offers you, like, something that looks shiny and tasty, like, don't always trust it. Like fairy tales have been instructive for hundreds of years.
It's why the value in scaring children. So making sure they're terrified at all times.
There's a reason why they've lasted so long. Okay. Now, Snow White, this remake, the only thing it's going to be is an example of what not to do, a cautionary tale in its own right for what's bad and wrong.
Right up
That's
to the
how
Last
it's gonna
Jedi.
right up there with the Last Jedi.
This is how
100%.
to teach us in school what not to do with the movie. But also it's on the Minecraft thing. The reason why I don't like the brain rot kind of genre is, and speaking of scaring children with fairy tales, we used to have a lot of really good movies that had value to them that were for kids, because now kids media has been so demeaned and looked down upon. It's like everyone has the adage of like, oh, it's for kids, who cares? Well, I think we should care a lot. In
Yes,
fact, not
even
only
more
should we-
so.
I would, yeah, exactly. Not only should we care, we should care the most about what children are seeing. See, an adult who's already been matured and know who they are and what their ethics are and what their personality is, we can eat some brain slop every once in a while. It won't bother us because we're not maturing.
Oh,
We're already
yeah.
grown up. So children are growing. They're learning who they
Yes.
are. They need to learn lessons and ethics. So not only should their stuff be meaningful, it should be the most we should pay the most attention to it. And so one of the things I love was like things like Secret Nim. Secret Nim was like one of the most iconic movies that a child should probably watch, because it has like good stuff in there, as Miss Brisby overcoming obstacles, overcoming like all kinds of like this death traps and horrific just horrors everywhere. And also it scares kids, and that's a good thing. We need to have some instilled that fear in the kids' heart. Because it
Also,
shows
don't
you,
let them watch poorly animated things.
it's pretty like the uncanny valley sort of thing. But
Why,
also,
why the poorly unpack that for us, Mike?
Because like Jordan Peterson would say, it's the war against competence, right? And so when you teach kids that it's okay to have all this just bad art, then they don't understand the value. Yeah, the value of craft, the value of good art, the value of skill.
You have a point, Mike. Because you know the thing that inspired me to want to be able to draw? It was
My
this
comic?
right here. No. It was this right here. When I saw this, right, my brain melted by how cool it was. And I posted this on Twitter. I said what I posted this like, this was my crack as a kid, because it just like I was amazed by it. So let me share this. I hope we don't get pinged for copyright though, but it's so good. Dude. Right, I need to pause just for copyright, or we might get pinged. But if people don't know, this is the transformation sequence for Techno Man.
I don't think I ever watched Techno Man.
Oh, dude!
With the amazing power of his emerald
looks 80s. I think it's 80s.
Look how great. So I'm not saying it. In retrospect, it might not be the best thing, but as a kid, I would watch this and I think, people drew this. People can draw this.
It's like
This is
Macross,
insane.
dude. I would I would just
Yeah,
pause
that's
and play Macross
Macross.
one freaking
Oh,
frame
dude.
at a time.
So
Robotech.
So what
Yeah,
Techno Man
Robotech.
did, right? It actually has lower quality animation through a lot of it, but in the big story moments, they just like ramped it up to 11. And this is like this
calls upon
is
the
a great
universal
example, because look,
forces
this
of time and
top.
space. Blade is endowed with impenetrable armor.
It's the greatest stuff, like the 80s, 90s.
I love it.
Weapons and superhuman powers, transforming him into the warrior superhero known
Look
as
at this! Techno Man. Look how freaking sick that looks! Oh man, I was just like, what the heck? And now we have a let's see here. And that has like such kind of stylistic proportions and stuff. It looked wicked. I tried to draw Techno Man so much.
It very much looks like the proportions that Joe Mad draws.
Yeah.
You wonder where you're going.
Dude, and so this aired on TV when I was in primary school.
It looks very masculine, like the robot suit. It has like the broad shoulders. It looks very
Broad
man. You can tell it's a
shoulders.
man, even though it's not it doesn't really have a gender, I guess. But the shape of it is a very masculine shape.
Oh yeah, and there's actually the story behind Techno Man sucked me in, right? And so there's an alien invasion, and humanity is just right on the brinks of extinction, because the aliens are just wiping them out. And the defenders, the people that are trying to work to figure out what's behind the aliens, discover this human and just crash to Earth in this crater or something. I'm trying to remember because man, it's been a while, and his name is Blade, and they don't know where he's from. And then Blade hijacks this spaceship that they have to get because he has like I got to get back to the space ring, and they're like, what's going on? And so he hijacks the ship. They're trying to stop him. And then he whips out this crystal, turns into Techno Man, and then just kicks the aliens' ass. They're like, what the hell is going on? And it turns out, right, that he is actually from the aliens. The aliens turned him into this, but he escaped before the brainwashing completed. But the rest of his family, who were also captured, got turned into Technomen as well, but they are brainwashed. And so the big bosses he has to fight that are leading the alien invasion are like his brother. And the big bad boss is his father. And at one point his sister breaks free and joins him. And it has like this arc where the system that the aliens have developed is like the ultimate weapon. It's made to body any resistance that you run into, and it's made to adapt. And when he starts to fight other Technomen that are stronger than him, the humans discover that they can adapt the system and make him evolve to become even stronger. And then he evolves and becomes like a super Techno Man and stuff. But his crystal gets broken at one point and they have to repair the crystal. And then it culminates with this ultimate showdown with his father. It's the story, man, is friggin' metal. It rocks. And there's better animation here and there. The English dub is actually really funny. Because they had to make it more family friendly. This is a Japanese made thing. The original one, which I did not know, I watched the dub, and the dub kind of takes like animation shots from later in the show that has better animation. They splice it into some of the battles early on, and they even change one of the genders of the characters because so there's this ugly look in the dub. There's this ugly looking woman that is always hitting on Blade, and Blade is not into it, but she's obsessed with it. She loves Blade. She makes like an action figure of the Techno Man stuff and everything like that. And it's like, and she's an engineer character, and it's like, okay, she's just one of a quirky character in the show. That's a man in the original, a cross-dressing man in the original.
It happens a lot, yeah.
It happens a lot in anime. And so I only discovered this because I loved it so much as a kid. I needed to get the DVDs, and this was before you could just look it up on the internet and buy it. I had to find these, anime stores that were importing in Japanese anime and get them to custom order something from Japan to get the original DVDs. And I got the original dub before the dub that was aired on TV. So there is an actual more dub that's just more one-to-one, just, regular. And I think the gender of the character still changed, but it had some nudity in it that I wasn't prepared for in the original. It was like, well, that's a bit surprising because the transformation sequence with Blade, you saw him, he's got his body and he's got the laser. Well, there's a transformation sequence for a female Techno Man person. And yeah, she's naked. And I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised.
Yeah, but it's Japanese nudity, so there's no nipples or anything, right?
No. They have the
really?
detail in this. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
I guess kind of going from like watching Dragon Ball on TV in America to watching uncensored Dragon Ball.
I think
way
I've shared
different.
Yeah, it really is. I think I shared this on the live stream before because before I knew any of this, right? I just watched it on TV, thought it was brilliant. I visited my cousins who lived closer to Melbourne, and we walked down the main street, and there was an anime store, and I walked in, and they had the Techno Man sequel on VHS for sale. I was like, yes, I'm getting it. Techno Man. It's the sequel. I've never seen the sequel.
Oh no.
A lot more risque than the original.
Yeah, is this a porn?
Oh my! The main character is a girl this time.
This time it's called Tentacle Man.
Well, they go into detail with the transformation sequences, and. I put it on with my cousins thinking this is a sequel, and when the transformation starts to go, I'm like, stop! I had no idea. Holy, but this is part of my childhood nostalgia. The original animation is just awesome, and I loved it. And it inspired me to try and draw and learn how to draw.
Right, which is why you don't show your kids like Cal Arts crap.
I do get annoyed with the crappy kind of kiddie animation that we see. It's very common like that you see nowadays. I get annoyed with that. We had freaking awesome stuff. like this, like Techno Man. But the thing is, though, you know what was airing at the same time as like Techno Man? Scooby Doo. And the old school Scooby Doo is really basic animation. The characters are basically only ever walking one side to another, right? It's really cheap, low effort
Iffy
animation.
animations and but I love Scooby Doo still. I like all the mysteries. I love mysteries. It's kind of a thing I always enjoy was mystery. Like, I watched Columbo. I read a lot of Hector Poirot. Like, so I really like mystery specifically. So I specifically like Scooby Doo.
I never got into it. I found
I didn't
Scooby Doo
either.
annoying as a kid.
like
But I
the
understand that
Finding
people do
Monsters.
love it.
I'd
But
watch it, but I wasn't into it.
but seriously, like to get this level animation in a kids show back then was not common at all. Like even like I enjoyed Spider-Man, the animation.
Well, hold on. You're saying in a kids show, it was anime. Actually back then it wasn't called anime. It was Japanimation.
Japanese,
And you
animation. But,
had
like,
you had Macross,
well,
you had
one of the
Appleseed,
big
you had all kinds of
yeah,
stuff.
but one of the big differences when Techno Man decided to do higher quality animations, right? They did shading. There's like cell shading and contours and stuff. And this is kind of what's like blew my mind because I never saw that in kids' cartoons. Like, look at the levels of colors and depth on Blade here, right? And highlights, where on most other animations, like kids' stuff, especially the Western stuff, even the one I love, like Spider-Man, the animated series, is just flat, straight, single colors.
But you understand, this isn't kid stuff.
Or they rebranded it as a kids, as a full-blown kids thing.
Oh,
Like,
I see. And so you're saying from the market of what you were used to. And
yes, exactly.
I used to like I watched Voltron, the original Voltron. That was good.
Yeah.
That was a good
Yeah.
one.
But this level
Battle of
animation
the Planets, dude. Come on.
now, not all the animation is to this level. You actually like there's some contour there, but a lot of it is like through the show is just kind of flat colors. But when the important story moments come, they up the effort and they get to this level, and it just blew my mind. I was like, that looks friggin' sick. And of course I was a kid, so I had never saw any comparable stuff because there were other comparable stuff like what Ghost in the Shell or
G-Force? Did you not get G-Force?
Oh yeah, G-Force.
Really?
G-Force was awesome. That's the
No,
one that
I didn't get G-Force as a kid.
Really? Oh my god.
was it the little bird missiles and they're all birds and stuff?
But yeah, like I said, this stuff blew my mind, and all the other comparable kids stuff was like didn't reach this level of quality, and so I was amazed by it. And then the story just hooked me, and I played Techno Man heaps as a kid, and everything. I'm trying to think, does like some kids animations kind of get close nowadays? Like what are some metal kids shows that are just action-packed boy, focused like
not from Japan? I don't know.
Not it's really hard to find anything that's not from Japan, but like I recently have completed Solo Leveling with my older kids, and they friggin' loved it. Oh, they got so into Solo Leveling, and there's some great stuff coming out of Japan that does have pretty impressive animation, like Demon Slayer. Damn. Demon Slayer is legit.
Fantastic.
Really impressive with the animation.
Unfortunately, the West seems to have gone in the way of what's the least amount of effort we can do for the most amount of return.
But did you not get like what they called Voltron or
Voltron was a little earlier. I missed. I got Astro Boy. I got some speed. I love Speed Racer.
Speed Racer was the first anime I ever watched.
Racers from the 70s.
Yeah, there was reruns of Speed Racer.
It was on Boomerang. I watched it on Boomerang. I think it was Boomerang.
How about Macross?
No, I
Robotech.
watched Macross.
You didn't get Robotech?
That was
the 80s.
That was on a section called Toonami, I think, like old school Toonami.
Yeah, like
I'm gonna play this without the music so that we don't get any strikes. But dude, freaking Mac,
it was awesome.
Hang on.
So
Yeah, no, that's 3D. That's newer stuff. That's not old school Macross.
No, this.
Yeah, that's newer stuff.
No,
I've watched the original Robotech, but that was in my teens, and that's because I got the DVDs and stuff from a friend.
Those ships are awesome. They be airplanes, and then they can turn to like a middle.
That does look like a.
That's 3D. Yeah. That's not the original Macross.
Freaking original stuff.
But I've watched it, like I said, but it was later. I don't have the childhood nostalgia because I didn't watch it as a kid. Yeah, that's not That's
the
still
same one?
3D stuff. Yeah, the same one.
All right, let me go to Robotech instead of Macross.
Yeah, look up Robotech.
I
And
loved Robotech, dude.
so yeah, Robotech aired before my time as a kid, and there wasn't reruns of it. But there were reruns of, like I said, Astro Boy, Speed Racer, even He-Man. I loved He-Man as a kid. There were reruns of He-Man. Yes, that's the original.
Yeah.
Hang on. That almost looks like Yamato, but is that Robotech? Oh, yeah, Robotech.
Yeah. See the little symbol.
Yep, yep.
The Invid.
Yeah, Robotech is great. And it's just like,
You know,
man,
it's funny. You're talking about like replaying scenes. I remember going back and watching Battlestar Galactica after just kind of recently. Oh yeah, the transformation.
yeah, why does it do
and dude, they replay the same fight scenes like in every episode. It's like,
yeah.
I did not
Saving
notice
on
that when I was a kid because they're like a week
saving all
apart.
those visual
right?
effects? Yeah.
But that was the most expensive show on TV at the time. It was $1 million an episode. It was
Really?
crazy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've
And that was,
actually
like,
watched
the
reruns of
early
the
80s.
original Battlestar Galactica. Because again, like when I became early teenager, my parents got our equivalent of cable. It was actually satellite called Ozstar. And we got some American TV channels like Cartoon Network, and TV1 had a lot of reruns of the old school shows. And that's how I got to watch the original Mission Impossible, the original A-Team, and the original Battlestar Galactica, because they were all reruns on the channel called TV1. But that's also, then I finally got to get some Toonami through Cartoon Network. That's how I got to watch Gundam Wing when that was released. Loved Gundam Wing. That was awesome. And then my VHS store, it was like Blockbuster. We didn't have Blockbuster. We had other companies. Started to order in more anime. And that's where I discovered Samurai X, which led me to Rooney Kenshin. And that was just like
Samurai X is like that was the one that was made by a different company, I think. And that was the one that went after his past.
Yeah.
Right? Samurai X.
That
was good. That was fantastic.
I consider that a work of art. It's actually a genuinely brilliant story. Samurai X is brilliant. Oh, we're getting into the nostalgia now. We're trying. We'll just think of all the old school
fantastic.
shows.
The history of that. So Rooney Kenshin got me into the history of that era, that specific era. Because until then, I just knew the Sengoku era, but I didn't. But then that one got into the Meiji Revolution, which was, dude, that era defined Japanese culture for a very long time, because we have that echoed in modern day anime a lot, which is like the mix of culture where like samurai and then people with guns, like revolvers and everything. So it was like a clash between like the future of warfare versus people who have been stuck in the past for a very, very long time. So I know they had guns. I know the samurai used guns a lot, but they kind of used like the old style guns, and they had the whole era of isolationism. So, and then we had the Meiji era, which is like kind of like the idea of, no, we don't want to be isolationist anymore. We want to expand and everything. So there was a clash of like the European guys and the American guys who just had advancements in warfare that the Japanese really didn't have yet. So it's crazy. It was a crazy era. And so in future, like for example, Afro Samurai has that kind of feel to it, where it's like, yeah, he's a samurai, but he's fighting cyborgs sometimes. But the landscape is like ancient feudal Japan kind of feel to it. But every once in a while, you get like a guy that has a rapid fire like crossbow with grenade launcher on it. Like it's crazy.
So before anime like started to get like my video store started to get it in and everything, but some TV shows started to experiment broadcasting anime. When I was 14 years old, one of the channels broadcast Neon Genesis Evangelion, and I got a bit obsessed with that. And it wasn't necessarily because it was just like, it was far more mature than I was used to. But it was like teenagers piloting these giant robots with some pretty hardcore animation at times, because Evangelion got really full on at times. So I got pretty obsessed with that as a kid, and because they were characters they were 14-year-olds like me. Yeah, I got a little, interested in it, and that wowed me a bit again, because I
you getting all hots for cartoon characters, Shad?
When I was a kid, I was like, hey, they're my age,
I had a thing for Lin Min May.
Ghost, the other ones that I saw that was a little more mature, and after a while was Ghost in the Shell. That was that one that was fantastic. I think that's
Well,
this
see,
kind of weird.
Ghost of the Shell was far too mature than that. This chat card is like imagine the face of a naive Mormon kid singing Evangelion.
Evangelion.
Because it gets pretty mature at times. Nowhere near as like full on as anything like Ghost in the Shell, and then you could go to the extreme like Ninja Scroll or something like that.
That Ninja Scroll was fantastic. That was like,
I've
wow,
never
this is
seen
pretty
Ninja
brutal.
Scroll.
It's brutal. It's pretty good.
Very brutal.
I also this
It did make me want to make a spin-off called Ninja Squirrel, though, just because.
And Ninja Scroll has like the lady is able to kill people because she can't be touched because she's full of poison. So a guy like this rapes her and he dies because he dies of poison. But it's a little weird, a little strange.
It's very
anime.
Very mature Ninja Scroll. I would not recommend as a conservative. Like if you're very conservative, you're a Mormon, stuff like that. Probably not one that you want to watch. All right, let's grab some of these super chats. And we got Buddy Rabbit for $2 says people don't want to know how they make the hot dog, and that's in specifically in reference to the comment I was making that people don't necessarily care too much about how things are made, as long as there's not crazy human rights violations. If they get the product they want and it's got the quality that they want, they'll be happy to consume it. That's what
I was talking about, the photo bashing.
Yeah. And look, that's going to be the reality with a lot of AI art. But funnily enough, this is what I've been saying. AI seems to be getting incorporated in small integrations into workflows, and it's not like wholesale replacement yet. It specifically for film and other things. I think there are some wholesale replacements already that AI is just totally bodied, like stock images.
Hey, we talked about David, right?
The House of David, House of David.
Yeah. My daughter, she was like watching it. She didn't even realize that it was AI, that it used AI.
Yep. And so that's how we're seeing in larger projects, it's being integrated in smaller but really helpful ways to enhance workflow and cut down costs and everything. And that's what I've been saying can benefit, smaller studios massively. That's exactly what they've been doing with the production House of David, because they have some visual effects shots that are mind blowing, but they didn't have the budget for it, and AI enabled them to do it. And like I said, the tide is turning. Heaps of people are coming to terms with it, and they're perfectly happy with it. And like that Studio Ghibli craze, that was just so many people just having fun with it. It's like, it's just a fun thing. And
it just kind of reminds me, I had a comment on my AI video about someone who he has a little like unmonetized channel, and he just does these little videos, and he used AI music to play the thing out. And some people were like, in the chat, in the comments section, hating on him because he used AI music. It's like, what do you want? You want me to go hire a band to create music so that I can do this little thing that I'm just doing for fun? Nobody's making any money off of it.
Yeah,
but they just hate AI so much. They're like, no, you can't make a thing. It's like
they expect you to spend $200 to make a meme. It's like you use AI to make a meme. It's like you should have paid an artist. It was like, not for a freaking meme. Are you crazy? And by the way, this is coming from someone who loves AI art and will still hire artists to produce like graphic novels and stuff, right? And it's like people think that just because someone loves AI art, they're going to replace everything. It's like, no, it's going to be just integrated into the processes. I'm interested in exploring maybe having I'm going to try and do variant covers from multiple artists, but guess what? I can do another one, give people another option. That's going to be maybe an AI one that I get to make. And that's an additional option. It's not taking anything away from, people I've hired or anything like that. And it's so funny. People attacking, people for AI art and everything like that, when I've probably spent more money on human artists than a lot of people do in their life, right? Like I think I'm not cheap. Mike isn't cheap. I've hired Mike, but I've also hired cover artists and everything like that. And and I've already paid you for volume 2 as well. And so in totality, for like, and with the cover art and all, and everything that I've, and all,
We don't need to get
hiring-
into numbers here, chat.
yeah, there's been I've spent a lot of money hiring employees to make like, thumbnails and everything like that. Man, I've spent a lot of money hiring and giving people, artists, work, right? And this is coming from one of the larger, advocates and for AI art. And they think, oh, you hate a human artist. It's like, people just do not get it. They don't understand. And they want to straw man you as well. Go for broke for what 999 says. Hi, Shad. Have you seen the Japanese covers for the Wheel of Time books? Ooh, I have not. If so, you should look them up. Each book is split into multiple parts and each cover is gorgeous. I'm totally going to do that. Thank you very much. Go for broke. That sounds cool. Because, man, they tried to make some of the covers of Wheel of Time with like images from the TV show.
Oh, really?
I hate it when they do that.
I hate it. Abomination. It's like, how dare they?
Not even this Wheel of Time. Like whenever they try to have like they come on a TV show or something like that, and kind of replace the old stuff with, oh, here's the guy from the TV show. I don't want to see that. I want to see the stuff for the cover. Like, no thanks.
I got classic covers. There's my Wheel of Time up in the corner there. All the classic covers from Wheel of Time. But yeah. Thank you, good for broker. Buddy Rabbit for $5 says, shock of shocks. A Pareto principle.
The Pareto principle.
The Pareto principle continues to vie for acceptance as a fact over observation. Do you want to explain the Pareto principle there, Mike?
I believe the Pareto principle is like 20%.
Okay,
yeah.
Contributes the 20-80% thing.
Yeah. I think that's
it. Broly for $4.99 says, there is so little actual original thought. That's not how humans learn or invent, which is why letting your children parent you is so backwards. So much is inspired by things that made before, like Star Wars was inspired by samurai films and stuff like that. We
Flash
look
Gordon too. Like it's kind of amalgamation of stuff
constantly, but it's in that kind of configuration that then we create something that feels original and novel because we're constantly iterating on stuff that's made before. That's what AI is. AI is just like, it's so funny because like it'll never create anything new, and it has, and it's because it's been combining so many references. And if you prompt those combinations, you can guide it to create amazing things together collaboratively.
I'm collaborating with AI to write a story now.
Yeah. I've tried it.
It's a great co-writer, man, because it's like
I think it's going to be good for editing.
Yeah,
but like the story of Willow, like where Willow kind of like it was supposed to be Lord of the Rings, but they said no to George Lucas, so he just made Willow.
Yeah,
I guess that until someone told me like, oh yeah, it kind of is like it's this little people, and they have to do this great journey, but instead of a ring, it's like a little baby, kind of like that.
Well, it's like World of Warcraft and Warhammer, right?
Yeah, like they wanted to do Warhammer, they said no.
And Warhammer lifts like the concepts of Warhammer between like chaos and order. That's like, I think it goes further back, like Elric and stuff. It's like they lift so many concepts.
Oh, I meant 40K.
Oh, 40K, yeah. But no, like classic.
So mad when I say it's Dune fan fiction.
Hey, Buddy Rabbit for $10 says, digital art will kill artist expression. No more easels or paint watches. Technology is killing art and culture. No more tracing paper. No more pads. Yeah. I sent out a tweet saying like something to the effect like, if you do not draw with a pencil on paper, you are not a real artist. You're losing the connection between your physical, paper and it's got no. So, but that's unironically what people were saying when digital art was coming about, right? We're seeing the same things repeat itself over and over, though the negativity around AI art seems particularly extreme, more unhinged than the digital art stuff, but it was based on the same things. What you got there, Mike? You grabbing something out?
I'm just trying to find a piece of something. I have something on eBay right now, and I haven't really been promoting it at all. So
all right,
I was going to see if I could find it.
Cool. Buddy Rabbit $5 says, it's exhausting how little people want to actually have those conversations like adults. Yeah. And I've had those conversations though. Like I've debated multiple professional artists on this topic, and I've held up my side pretty well in every single one of them. And because when they come up to the logical argument, because it's all about consistent standards. It's like, all right, you need to hold those, because if you're okay with so many equivalent uses of technology in art, digital art, and by the way, Photoshop uses AI processes all the time that people just want to ignore about, like the cloud filter that they use constantly as shortcuts, and they say it's a cheat. They're like, well, then there's so many other things that are a cheat as well. And just by proposing those consistent standards, and my most recent one was comparing AI art to film directors, that has hit a nerve. And a lot of people actually like have really liked that meme. They've like done, marked, the heart, love heart, likes and retweets that one a lot. And so heaps more people have really liked that one. And it's also triggered a lot more people because the truth hurts. And so that one's gotten a lot of traction. Resef the Cripple for $10 says, Wade from The Wade Show says, had a really good take. Teen boys are showing up to ironically enjoy Minecraft since all new movies are now slop and they have nothing to actually enjoy this generation. I think there might be a point to that. Like, as long as it's not telling them that they're horrible people and garbage and it's got all this woke other girl boss nonsense in, I think people have been willing to throw some support behind Minecraft just because it's not attacking them.
Well, it's kind of like what I've just been thinking about. Like, what's going to happen when this decade is going to be reaching the era of nostalgia? Like, there'll always be that era of like, okay, this is nostalgia now. It's going to be a landscape of just cultural slop, this empty crap that's just meaningless and nothing. It's going to be a wasteland of culture.
But this is what I've been showing my kids stuff that I grew up on. And my son, he loves Star Trek, and I've shown him classic old school things, as well as curating the new stuff, like My Hero Academia. Very happy for my kids to watch that. Dr. Stone, they love Dr. Stone, and
it's all like anime, because there's nothing good in the West.
Most of it is anime. Most of the good stuff you find is
nothing good in the West. All of the stuff in the West is just
I'm
crap.
fine with that. They're nostalgic shows that they're gonna look back on. Hey, I like that one, Mike. Will be most of it is going to be anime, but I have my nostalgic anime shows like Technoman that I look back on fondness. That looks awesome, Mike. It's looking very good.
I drew this on here, didn't I?
You were in the process of drawing it, on one of the
So I finished it up. This is on eBay right now. I'm putting the link in the chat if anybody cares. If you can go back a couple of weeks, you can see. Was it 2 or 3 weeks ago? I drew this on here.
Look at that.
And that's all markers and brush.
And I haven't seen you do Spider-Man before. And dude, you do Spider-Man good. Like, you got his pose and angle, and you could have done Spider-Man really good. You would be like, because that genuinely, that's that is within the best Spider-Man drawings I've seen. And I'm an old school Spider-Man fan. I freaking love Spider-Man.
I appreciate it. He's a hard nut to crack when you're as realistic an artist as I try to be. So, and it's not AI. It's
like Spider-Man is my jam, right? And funny, I this is one of the more infamous ones where Gwen Stacy, it comes out that Gwen Stacy slept with Norman Osborn. That's this run. I always have all of those ones. Have you not seen this one?
No.
The art in it is actually.
Who is it by? Who's the artist?
It says Straczynski, Diodato Jr.,
Diodato.
Pimentel. Diodato, is that him?
Yeah, Mike Diodato.
Because look, his art in this is actually amazing. Let me find a great one of Spider-Man in this. Yeah, look at this. Let me full screen myself. Check out Spider-Man Peter Parker in this.
Yeah, Diodato's great.
Is
he still alive? I think he passed
He's
away.
too masculine. He has too many muscles.
Too many muscles, right?
He doesn't look soy enough for the modern audience.
Man,
I think Mike Diodato might have passed away. I'm gonna check.
that's a pity because the art in this is just brilliant. And so, yeah. When I say that that Spider-Man drawing you did is top tier, it's coming from a Spider-Man's connoisseur.
Oh no, he didn't pass away. I think I'm looking at his face. I remember now. He's a super lefty.
Possible. It's possible. It's a comic book.
He made some really douchey comments. Years.
So he isn't dead. He's just dead to you. I get it.
Yes, that's right.
Buddy Rabbit $5 says same energy as the Milan
Szechuan.
Szechuan sauce
being,
Oh no.
I mean, that
Dub-a-dub-a-dub-dub!
he means that in the worst way. Yeah, like people when they just latch onto a meme just because it's dumb, it's crazy how huge that can go because they like being silly. People, look, I get it. Sometimes people like being silly, and that can go viral in some big ways. And I think Minecraft has managed that. And it's
To be fair, you have to have an awfully high IQ to understand Minecraft.
no, you don't.
because of the-
No, you don't.
Because of the intricacies of its storytelling.
Thumb Ugly for $5 says definitely event like Rocky Horror. 20 years from now, it will be like that. Last summer, I saw Goonies in theater. This will be that for these kids.
Well, Goonies is
Maybe
good.
look, it's not for my kids. I think my sons, they've basically forgotten about it. They don't give a crap, and they're big Minecraft players, mind you. And so,
How old are your kids?
14 and 14 and 12. Well, those are my two oldest, and then they go down in like increments. But those are my two oldest sons, and they love Minecraft. And my second youngest son is 6. He loved it.
Yeah, see, my oldest son is, I mean, he's been playing it this whole time, but he's been playing it so long, it is almost nostalgic for him because he's 24.
Mhm.
And, well, yeah, he's 24. And he's been playing it since it came out, so.
Wolf Spade for $2 says a pup named Scooby Doo was my favorite one. I didn't get into it, but
That was a fun. Everyone had like Scooby Doo was rich. Actually, he had a rich family. He come from his name was Scoobert. Everyone loved Red Herring because he would always do all the stuff.
at least they tried to mix things up with Scrappy Doo. They tried something there, Not saying it succeeded, but at least they tried.
Oh, Scrappy Doo or Puppy and Scooby Doo? What was it? I forgot. Scrappy Doo had his charm sometimes. I liked him when I was a kid.
Doo! Wolf Spade $5 says, I make fan fiction for fun and constantly get messages from artists for me to commission them. Why when I can just use AI? It's not that deep. Yeah. I mean, and guess what? A lot of people don't have that spare money to invest in stuff like that, especially if it's just for fun and for memes and stuff. And so, and then the other thing is like, if AI can provide a superior product than what they can get, and pay for, that's the challenge that people are going to find. I think people like Mike are going to be fine. Okay, when you got some great talent, people are going to want him to work for, I think, a long time to come. But people who are limited on funds, that's going to be an option for them. And then we have Wolfsbane for $2 says, was Primal the last masculine Western cartoon? It might be.
Yeah,
I've actually watched some of Primal.
That's
pretty
the
good silent one, right?
Yeah.
The other ones are the ones that Western animation was kind of held up by Genndy Tartakovsky for quite a while because he had a lot of cool shows that had really good animation.
The only animation that I can think of, maybe I'll think, or I'm just forgetting some good ones recently, but it's not a kid's cartoon, but it's Invincible. The Invincible animation TV show, pretty good. I'm enjoying it. And the last season, so season 1 is still the best. Season 2, tolerable. Season 3 is better than season 2. That's how Invincible is going at the moment. Have you watched Invincible?
That's another one. It's like a lot of the kids of mine that my kids hang out, they know all the memes for Invincible, but they've never watched the show.
It's brutally bloody. Like
the comic book.
I would say it's like less of a superhero show, more like a torture porn kind of show.
Not constantly, but there are moments in season 1 where it gets like that. And that's why it needs.
The comic book is worse, by the way.
I don't know. I think in terms of graphic violence, I think it gets worse in the animation because you're actually seeing the limbs get ripped off and stuff. I think the animation steps it up a notch because of that. I know there's a lot of blood in the comic book.
This was kind of written like a teenage boy. It was like if teenage boy would write a superhero story. That's what kind of Invincible kind of feels like.
Yeah,
There's a bunch
I mean,
of blood and sex and stuff.
I like Invincible quite a lot, and the animation did a good job. Like it should never be made into live action. Like it would be.
That'd be weird. How would they do that in live action?
No,
Because it's so
you just
bloody and gory.
Like it would be what actual.
It'd be on HBO.
I do
I
like the
don't think you could do
violence.
it. I don't think you like if they did it, it would be so graphically violent. It's beyond Game of Thrones, and it's beyond it. I would be like, nah, I don't think I'd be able to watch it.
It would look fake because you can't actually do that to actors because they'll die. Like,
well, if they made even if they just tried to make it as real as possible, it'd be so graphic.
It would look fake because like all
make
the major things, all the major fights would have to be like. It would have to exaggerate with graphics and things because there's everything super powered punches and stuff. So it would look fake. It would look way too fake as opposed to the 2D stuff, which you can actually do things.
Invincible would be like twice as graphic as The Boys.
Oh yeah. Like The Boys is nothing compared to
The Boys is nothing compared to like how graphically crazy Invincible gets. If you just watch the animation, there is so much like torture. Body.
The boy. I think they messed up The Boys TV show. The Boys was supposed to be just like a fun little thing that Garth Ennis did. Like, I'm gonna make some stupid superhero show, superhero comic, and it was just you read The Boys. It's just dumb, stupid fun. It's just a bunch of cynical crap happening. There's like the leader is like just a jolly Punisher, and everyone's like, oh, that guy's gay. That guy's gay. It's like all this weird stuff happening in it. All right.
The Boys is just.
I stopped watching The Boys. I can't do it.
Yeah. I can't. I hate
the comic is fun. The comic is fun. The Boys.
Season
one. You don't like anybody in the show. There's nobody.
Yeah.
It's like apt pupil. It's like there's not a redeemable person in this cast.
I mean, I found season 1 interesting. I still hated how graphic it got, but Invincible kind of sidesteps it by it being animation. Having said that, I have seen it trigger someone's PTSD because of how graphic it gets as an animation. But because it's an animation, it softens the blow, and that's where it belongs. Invincible belongs as an animation in my mind, and it's pretty good. I enjoy it. Let's wrap up, gentlemen. This has been a fun stream. We've got to talk about a lot of cool stuff. Mike, is there anything that you want to plug as we sign off?
Well, I plugged my Spider-Man thing. I don't really have much else. I'm just doing my own stuff right now. So if you guys want to go bid on my Spider-Man on eBay, go ahead. Otherwise, well, I mean, I do have a comic book, Mike S. Miller. No, LoneStarComic.com. I don't show it much because
dude, your next one, Nobody's Business, is coming along. You've made great progress.
77 pages, but I just realized that's taken me 10 months. That's only 2 pages a week. So it's like, I mean, I haven't been like sitting down and working on it like every day. It's just here and there. I like get into these spurts of working on it. So it's been kind of a part-time gig, but even part-time, I've gotten 77 pages done in
it's great, man.
10 months. So I'm hoping it doesn't take me another 10 months to finish it, but
looks phenomenal.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's probably the best thing I've written. LitDev helped me with some
I looked over it, yeah. It was
considerations. So thank you, LitDev. And I don't know if he thinks it's the best thing I've written, but he's only read Lone Star.
I always had the idea that you're kind of I think you shine best with medieval stuff. I remember I was reading Lone Star. I'm like, okay, this is fun story. And then we get to the medieval stuff with what's his name's backstory. And man, that was cool. I like that stuff. If I had a whole book of medieval like vampire stuff, I would buy that in an instant. But I think that's where you really shine. I think that's where because I saw your other Game of Thrones stuff. I think all around.
Yeah, but that's the drawing. That's not the writing. I'm talking about the drawing.
Well, yeah, but with the writing and the drawing, I think you really have more passion for medieval stuff or that era anyway. That's what it looks like to me.
I could do a fantasy project. That might be fun.
I would at least try it out, see how it goes.
And hey, LitDev, what are you sharing here?
No, finally, after all, I've been working on this for the longest time. Like working on the script. I'm still not done with the script. I'm doing the final draft today, in fact. But it's gone over rewrite after rewrite for 7 months. I've been working on just the script. And I had my artist going over the cover. This is not the final cover, but it's the one the most updated version of the cover. Lady Midnight, it's the first story is called The Devils Dwell in Silent Springs. It's an occult mystery, combining two of my favorite genres, which is horror and mystery. And so it's the reason why it took so long and so difficult, because it actually is a mystery in terms of like the idea of like Sherlock Holmes, Hercule Poirot. Everything's logic. There's you have to follow. It's like I took also inspiration from Death Note, how Death Note kind of explains to you logically how the system works, how the magic works. And so I did that. So I had to create a magical system and how that works, maintaining everything as consistent as possible. Also, make sure that every character in there has like a suitable motive, and make sure their characters are also consistent, and all kinds of make a cool killer, a mystery, all kinds of nonsense. So it's going to be I packed it full of stuff that should be in this genre, which is the occult, witches and everything. She's not a witch herself. She used to be a witch, and she left because she found a better way. It's very like there was kind of a redemption story. She's redeeming herself by helping out the city that she once terrorized. She like basically it's kind of like the way I thought about it is that she is like Catwoman, and if Catwoman turned over a new leaf and became a good guy, and then Batman is gone because he sacrificed himself for her new life.
Okay,
essentially. So
is it a comic or a novel?
It's going to be a comic. I've been working on the script for 7 months now, I think. It's been a while. So we were trying to finish the cover, and then we're going to do the first couple of pages, and then hopefully we'll launch the campaign later on this month or early next month.
Nice,
awesome.
I put a lot of work into this one. Got the editing has been seriously insane, because at first this was a whole nother story, and then the editor was like, "Okay, some changes," to the point where like I got to write a whole new story, actually. So rewrites have been plentiful, but
nice.
I think they'll be great in the end.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. That's brilliant. Okay, so and for me, everyone kind of know where I am. Shadiversity, got a fun one coming out. It'll be tonight for me, tomorrow morning for everyone else in the US on Shadiversity. And thanks for joining us on the Culture Crusade. Hope to see you next week. So we will sign off. Everyone, thanks. And as always, stay on watch. Farewell.